something, whatever, man.
And like that, we're back with another Unpacked presented to you by the To Be Fair Show and
the GSH podcast.
It doesn't matter how you feel.
All right, fellas, we missed a week, but we back. We back. And a lot has changed in the zeitgeist, I guess you would say. What's next? We're a week out from the Charlie Kirk killing, shooting, however you want to frame it. And there's been some reactions. There's been some conversations. So yeah, again, we're going to kind of talk through some of Black America, some of the left, some of the right, and just the general political discourse that has came from this whole Charlie Kirk thing. But before we get there, y'all see the guys. I'm gonna pull their names up in a second. But before then, I'm gonna allow them to introduce themselves. First off, G, talk to them.
What's good, everybody? It's G, host of the GSH pod, where we focus on family, friends, finances, freedom, and our future. Forget about everything else. Check it out wherever you get your pods. Just search GSH POD. Oh yeah, I'm back, baby.
Listen, shout out. We were talking about earlier. Well, speaking of, they have been talking about banning free speech, censoring the guys. But here we do it by ourselves. We like to sanitize and make it palatable for the people. Shout out to G. Johnny P. Talk to him. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, man? Glad to be back. We missed y'all last week, but got another good one cooking. It's been a lot going on in the ether, so I'm ready to get here and chop it up, see what we got.
All right. And yeah, nonetheless, we're gonna hop into it. We'll hit some of the icebreakers a little bit later. This is hot topics. So it makes sense for us to hop straight into it. So don't worry. If you want to hear about Cardi B having a baby with that guy, if you want to hear about Dame Dash, is he chairman? Is he not? We're gonna get there. But that's a little bit later. It's a little bit later. Is Charlemagne a good representation of the masculine man? I don't know. But we're gonna get there a little bit later. But starting off, guys, I guess I want to ask y'all this, just to break the ice a little bit on this general conversation. If the proverbial possible, maybe the impending civil war happens, where are you going? North, south, west? You fleeing the country? Fellas, talk to me.
I ain't going nowhere.
You staying put inside Charlotte, Raleigh, North Carolina, heart of the South.
No, I would stay out of Raleigh and stay in Durham. That would be my mode. Honestly, a civil war. What's crazy is it won't even be split by state. You feel what I'm saying? The type of civil war that people are talking about, it wouldn't even be like a North versus South. It would be in proximity to everybody. You really couldn't escape if it really went to that part. You really couldn't escape like the ops. So you might as well stay put.
Okay, so you said you staying put. You staying home, fortressizing the house. You treating it like what's that movie where it turned 8 o'clock and everybody be trying to kill each other?
Purge.
The Purge, yeah. So you're gonna do it like the Purge. I got you. Johnny P, what's going on?
I mean, this World War III.
No, we didn't say World War III. Civil
Civil
War.
War. Civil War.
Civil
Okay,
War Two.
Civil War. Civil War.
Civil
Civil
War
War.
Two. Yeah.
Civil War Two. I probably want to go somewhere where there's not a lot of people.
Okay.
I've always said, I'm an off the grid boy. I get me a little fishing pole,
Mm.
get a couple solar panels,
Mm.
just set up somewhere where y'all can't find me.
What you thinking? Like Wyoming,
It ain't even gotta be that
Utah?
far. We got some, we got
Oh,
some,
oh,
we
oh.
got some mountains right here in North Carolina. That's a lot of
You
people
going
that
up
go
to
missing. A lot of
Appalachia?
people that go missing up there. Unabombers. A lot of people go up there to go missing. Ted Krasinski. I'd probably do something like that, and I like to fish, so that's my number one survival skill is just throw something in that water you can always eat.
Okay. All right. So nonetheless, so it sounds like all y'all staying in the country. If it all goes to hell, the MAGA right versus the progressive left, the far left, y'all staying put and just
I'm Switzerland.
watching the show and hoping that yeah, it don't impact you. Well, you said you hiding out in the mountains. G said he going to purge. Okay, we can't hear you.
I'm gonna let him know this ain't my fight. Let me know when it's over.
I don't know. I think
Yeah,
them far MAGA identity theorists, they what you will not replace us. What did they? What's the new one that they was just marching to? White men fight back or something like that. It was something while they was marching to it. It was like white men fight back. I say, damn,
who
it
they
was
fighting
white
back
men that killed.
against?
I know. I was like, hey, it ain't me, brother. Hey,
Yeah, I
go
ain't
fight
fighting.
somebody else, bro.
I ain't fighting.
I don't know if you understand that yet, guys. But nonetheless, I guess throwing
I am
this.
not your enemy, white man.
I am not your enemy.
White man, thou not. I'm your enemy.
So nonetheless, if we just inch it a little bit closer, inch it a little bit further, if there was an impending civil war that did happen, what do you think that the majority of Black America, where do they fall at in this?
I mean, hopefully we like if it got to that far, hopefully we learned the lesson and just all chill. But traditionally, you see how we vote. That's probably
Mhm,
where most of us, where a large percentage of us are going to go on the left. But it
mhm.
really shouldn't be our fight, and it would be a good time for Black people to actually like tap out, and actually
What
be,
makes you think that is not our fight? Once we move past Charlie Kirk, what makes it not our fight?
Oh, I was just talking about in response to Charlie Kirk, but I mean, even even after that, I think even a lot of the left and right stuff isn't really our fight. And even we talking about this Sunday, I think the biggest, war, me personally, it's not the divide between left and right; it's the divide between rich and poor. I
So do
think
you
that's.
think? So you think that the fight between left and right isn't
I
it
don't.
doesn't impact Black America?
I think we're getting exploited on both sides. I think it's like, I mean, either way you go, we're still at the bottom.
Got you. Would you say that like the right targets Black people though, like inside their rhetoric? So if you
I
think
mean,
about right
yeah, I mean,
now,
of course, I don't disagree with that, but I think the left takes advantage of Black people too.
of course,
It's like, so that's why I'm saying we should do be time for us to, kind of just fall back. But yeah, I'm not
we'll
agreeing with
circle back
either
to this.
side. Yeah,
No,
yes,
I
sir.
get you. We'll circle back to this. Welcome to the show. I don't know. My guy A Black looked like he getting tequila shots. Um,
Yeah,
Take
what
one for
up?
me, big dog.
fresh in the Sean John
Sean, John, that
Bye.
name
Free
clean,
Diddy.
boy.
John but yeah.
Sean, John,
What's going on,
Bucket this
brother?
clean.
motherfucker. What up?
What
What
up?
up?
Nah.
Not really. We see
Hold
you,
on, hold
nigga.
on.
We can
Yeah,
see
you
you.
clear though. You clear. But we
Christian.
Can you hear me now?
yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, my bad. I'm almost at the crib. I'm picking up my dinner real quick. Yeah, free Diddy. Y'all can catch me up.
All right. So really quickly, why you out at the spot? Just a quick question for you, and then we'll let you get your I'm guessing maybe you getting tacos. But if the Civil War happened in America, are you going north, south, staying put, getting out the country? if this quote unquote proverbial
I know
civil
where
war
this
that they're
nigga
talking
going.
about.
Yeah, I'm trying to go
Where
with
you,
him.
where you going, A Black?
Out the country, man. I'm out the country.
All
Talking to
right,
my
so
boy about how we all need to have multiple passports,
mm,
dual citizenship. Not even just Africa, but other places. But I ain't fighting no civil war with these niggas.
okay. Any country in specific?
For me, it is probably maybe be Ghana because they got stability, a lot of stability there. Growth
Okay.
happening. A lot of us are already out there building communities and
Where?
stuff. Ghana, maybe Kenya would be next, and then somewhere maybe South America. You got Belize, Costa Rica, kind of, but I also don't want to be in no hurricane prone area either. But it's a lot of different places.
A Black.
Yeah,
We heard we heard a couple of them, but I don't know, something's happening with your phone. So
I'll be right back.
okay, yeah, I'm about to say we'll do this. A Black gonna tap back in with us once he get back to the crib. But yeah.
He got
See it.
options.
Sometimes we
he look like a Charlotte nigga tonight. Usually A Black pull up chilling. Now tonight he look like a Charlotte nigga tonight.
yeah, we got the links out. A Black, one of them ones. He said he got the VVG kit on. That's something that you wear to the VVG pop out show right there. Shout out VVG.
Hey, that's the guy.
Really good album. Yeah. All right.
Very, very good album.
Yeah. So nonetheless, fellas, I guess as we start to move toward the main topic, Charlie Kirk, martyr, villain, or is this a warning sign? I don't know. There's been a lot of polarizing reactions to it. I guess we'll start here. Empathetic, indifferent, or justified. What was your initial reaction to the whole situation, and has it changed over the course of this week?
I don't think mine has changed. Like I said, my initial reaction was this is it's like I find it unfortunate that this is who they're gonna make a martyr here in terms of the events that took place. I was against Luigi and how he handled things. I'm against how this went down. Like I'm not really, I'm not a proponent of this vigilante just going out here killing people because you don't like what they did type of thing. Like I don't think that's something that we should promote or accept as a society or culture.
Mm-hmm.
So and again, I don't have a positive as it relates to Charlie Kirk and his platform, I don't have a positive opinion, overall. So it's like, people can say what they want, but to go to this length because you don't like some things that somebody said, I think is just uncalled for at the end of the day. And I feel the same. And so I don't feel, I do feel like you do need to be careful if you incite a lot of polarizing, hateful sort of language, because what you put out there in this world can find strange ways of coming back towards you. So if you have a platform that promotes, those hypersensitive subjects where people feel attacked and, feel unliked and so forth, and you had these strong takes that so polarizing, you got to be careful with what you put out, because hey, you just never know what seed you plant.
Yeah. Johnny.
Yeah, I did this Sunday, but it's kind of similar when I first heard about it, because I'm not like as familiar with Charlie Kirk. Not like I didn't really consume his content like that. So when I first heard it, I was kind of indifferent, because I mean we hear about violence. I mean there's somebody getting shot, somebody getting killed all the time in the news. So it's like you kind of just you don't really pay attention to it at first, but then once you see the stories, you hear about it, you get he gets humanized, and there's empathy there. I don't necessarily agree with some of the stuff he said. Some of the stuff he said I actually do agree, and but I don't think that's no reason to like take somebody out. And as a country, if we can't agree or disagree with people, how will we move forward if the moment somebody says something that doesn't agree with you, doesn't align with what you're saying, you just try to end the conversation? That creates a country where all you will have is division, all you're gonna have is conflict, and that's not a world none of us want to live in. That's not a world we want to leave for our kids. So yeah, it's just very unfortunate. And again, like who was that? Chuku. We shouldn't be celebrating. It don't look good on black people to be out here celebrating somebody's death when, again, it's not really our fight.
Gotcha. And we're going we'll attack that specifically coming up soon. I guess what does the death, the killing, say about where we're at inside the American divide? I guess like just broadly, we'll get into even more nuances. But what is where we're at right now? The death, the shooting. What does it say about this current the cultural divide?
It's getting worse, I think. And I think there's mitigating factors. I think the news cycle, and how news frames stuff, the biases you see, I think that kind of contributes to it. I think there's a layer of mental health or lack thereof that kind of deals with this. And I think there's a bureaucracy level of it to where it shouldn't be, there should be some kind of checks and balances for if we
Johnny, you
live.
been listening to NPR.
Nah, actually no, but actually,
Johnny coming with them words today. You talking a little bit. All right, talk to him, Johnny.
But nah, yeah, I think yeah, it's a layered thing about what it says about. I mean, it says a lot about our country, but yeah, just overall, we're not in a good spot overall.
Yeah, G.
I think it's not, given the nature of events, it's not really a cultural divide. This is a young, white, conservative raised Christian male who, I don't know what his taste is today, but his terms of his upbringing, it's of the same, similar upbringing as Charlie Kirk. He's not somebody of our culture, you know what I'm saying? So this isn't even a culture divide. I think it just highlights how dangerous these young men are in this new era of just not having any sort of emotional regulations, or even just the ability, like they get so entrenched in these social media groups, these chat groups. I mean, we see how the Discord be going crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know when a tether gonna show up at Tariq Nasheed door ready to off him or something like that. It's like what level goes to what? Because people feel so hated or whatever the case. It's like, I think it's just more of a reflection of like how troubled this generation of young men are. I don't know if it's because they're not getting no pussy, or I don't know what it is exactly, but it's like I see it as more of a reflection of how bad like men are in society, is that they're leaning into this stuff more as an answer versus more rational ways to try and solve problems. Like I think a lot of young men are leaning into this sort of mindset, like this is how I can solve a problem.
So I get you. I guess you said that you don't. So you don't think that this would kind of be like speaking more to a bigger cultural divide, cultural meaning like the left versus the right, the like fascist versus the socialist, like all of the like the inflammatory language. Do you think because Charlie Kirk hit the entirety of his platform was based around speaking to culture war issues, trans, religion, DEI. Like that's what the basis of his issue was. And everybody that was against him were typically like the complete opposite, and more than not far off of that ideology, like the far left, the progressive, the leftist. And yeah, to me it seems that it speaks. I don't know, I guess with all that said, you still don't think that none of that speaks to like a American cultural divide?
So I feel like there has been an intentional effort to try and highlight what you just said, and they're trying to amplify and engineer this sort of divide to be like more, say, real than what it actually is, when in reality the incident that took place is not a reflection of a leftist, quote unquote, trying to take down a right. And it's like, and this is where I say like I
guess what makes you say that?
Because I need to see more evidence, right? Because at the end of the day, there are such thing as conservative LGBTQs. There's a lot of them actually.
Right.
Like,
and again, like I know all the evidence is still coming out, but let's just speak to
just because
all of
he
his,
likes that cup of tea don't mean he a leftist.
Oh no, not even that. Like the speaking of like, hey, fascists, catch this. I think that he had like 2 or 3 other like written down fascist innuendos, specific jokes.
I think that's
you don't think that means anything at all and doesn't speak to anything, and you think that like I don't know the right to speak to that language.
I think it's a reflection, like I said, of how impressionable these young men are of what's going on the internet, and that's why those statements are there. I don't think it's because he's an actual progressive or leftist or any of those things. This nigga might just have a taste for a little bit of whatever he like, and is and you know, as a white man, you might not be used to feeling ashamed because you want to feel entitled to what you want, and you like, damn man, maybe he battling his inner demons. He like, Jesus, I can't help it, I gotta kill this nigga because I want that trans. So I don't know what's going on in his head. I don't know, but I can't assume he a leftist just because he wrote those things.
Okay, so I guess maybe
can I add something? Can I add something?
Well, I guess I want to ask really quick. So you don't think that there's an inflamed cultural divide and or a moment inside America between the right?
I think they're engineering it right now off of something that
doesn't reflect. So prior to him getting shot, you don't think that there has been like a heightened tension between the right and left?
Sure. Yes, I can agree. Like since Trump became a thing, since MAGA's become a thing, there's been a more polarizing effort of like super progressive liberals and like the new alt-right conservatives. Like that's been a thing. Like so that's that spectrum of far left, far right wing has been a growing thing for a handful of years. But this like incitement of, oh, it's now just a you this or that. Like you either lay down or get down. Like that hasn't really been the case. Now it's
what do you mean by lay down and get down?
Because it's like you said, it's either left or right. Now it's no in the middle. Now it's like you either with this side or you with that side. And I think that's what they're trying to engineer here right now versus
well, I guess I'm because you're the first person I've heard kind of give this take. So like when like just give like to give a Discord example, for example, we could be inside just having conversation, and to me it seems that more times than not it becomes hyper tribal on one side or the other. I can name person A that's always going to shit on the left and blame the left, and then no matter how you redirect, it always goes back to the left. But then you can go to person B, where no matter what they'll say that, you know, Biden was a potential free agent for the NBA in comparison to Donald Trump when it comes to health. And it's like, like these are interesting takes, and it always revolves back to the right is evil, the worst thing, XYZ. And it seems like it typically becomes like hyper tribal on those lines almost every time. And the minority is people that's able to actually see both sides.
Can I?
Do you disagree with that? Or
I do. Like I said, I think since MAGA has become a thing, politics has been more polarizing than it ever was in the past, and it's only become more polarizing. So I'm not disagreeing with this polarization of politics, blue versus red, but the rhetoric that I'm hearing now in reaction to Charlie Kirk's murder is.
And what's the rhetoric that you hear now that's different? Because that to me, we would hear a lot of like
it used to be more so focused attacks on what we would call progressives, the progressive right. It used to now
but since MAGA
left, excuse me.
Okay.
Yeah, like the AOCs, the Bernie Sanders, if you will, like the ones who want free everything, like the quote unquote socialists. Like that was more of like where it was like.
You don't think that the right ran on the culture war stuff? Like Trump's biggest performing ad was the Kamala's for they and them ad, which painted the majority of the Democrat Party as being like this hyper pro LGBTQ, you know.
Yeah, but Trump was big on, like, I think economy and immigration were his major platforms where he smoked the Democrats' boots personally. Now, what's happening in real time as it relates to immigration and economics is another conversation. But was that a talking point? Sure, it was a talking point, but again, that was for a very small minority of
they said
Democrats.
That was like performing.
Hey, it did.
I agree that like a small minority of Democrats have that stance, but in a broad stroke, to me, I think that most people on the left look at MAGA as you a racist / Nazi / fascist / authoritarian loving person, and then most on the left they do most people on the right look at the left as LGBTQ, trans loving, soy boy, beta, soft liberal. Like that, those typically be the warring points that you hear on every single Fox News or CNN conversation, I guess. I don't know, Johnny, you've been itching to get in.
Yeah, because like I kind of agree with G. I believe there is a growing, political divide in this country. I think it's gotten worse, with some of the language that we've heard over the last few election cycles. I think it's just been a growing thing. But I think the bigger issue, especially when you're talking about like the violence that's coming from it, and if you look, uh, when you actually get out, because I think a lot of the political divide is chat room kind of based thing. It's an internet based thing where you get people in these internet rooms and you get these, kind of messages, these themes. They
Could
come
one
up.
argue that the majority of people in the majority of dialogue happens on the internet now?
Yeah, but I think these ideologies live online and they fester in places where, like I say, I think the bigger issue is like a mental health thing where you get a lot of people in cognitive dissonance. I think when the violence comes out and touches grass, I think it's more of a mental health issue and somebody actually takes it to that extreme and do that. I think we have to start looking at mental health and see why, because a lot of these people, they're red flags. There's things that come up where,
are you talking about like the people that commit the crime or just the general?
The people that actually go out.
We move away from just the people that commit the crime. Just speaking of the temperature.
Yeah, but temperature is the political divide, but there's something that triggers certain people to go out and commit the violence. And I think that's a mental health issue. And I think that's
I agree. I imagine y'all will probably agree.
And that's all I was saying. I think, of course, there's a divide, but like people can amicably disagree. But once you take it to, I'm going to go take this person out because I don't agree with what he says, and this is the only way that I can resolve this issue. To me, that speaks to a bigger, mental.
And I guess I actually don't know if I even agree with that point. But
I want to clarify too, because my point is Charlie Kirk was murdered, and then this rhetoric about crazy leftists started to get amplified, and then Trump talked about how like it's this side versus that side. And my point is the actual incident that took place doesn't warrant that reaction because we don't know that this dude is even a leftist, is my whole point. He just happens to like a certain little flavor.
But to use like your point, Charlie, I guess Charlie Kirk, when he got shot, he was talking about radical leftists being the biggest committers of mass shooting violence. Like that was like the part that he got killed on. Like he was actually inciting the rhetoric at that moment. He said trans and liberals are the biggest committers of mass shootings.
And we don't know that this person is either or. This is what I'm saying. Like,
I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about like the rhetoric, because it, like at that moment he was. You were saying that you didn't know, like there wasn't a talking point around the left being radical and violent. But he was like at the moment doing like talking that rhetoric.
But to be fair, there was a incident in the news where a trans person committed some sort of mass shooting. Was this at a church or they did?
That was in Minnesota recently.
In Minnesota, right? Yeah. So once that incident took place, there started to been like a uptick of like, oh, trans people are dangerous, et cetera, et cetera. Like that sort of like was the reason why Charlie Kirk was on that soapbox, because that incident took place relatively like in the last, couple of weeks or whatever. And so like we said, there's growing like there's been a growing anti all these things. Like they're talking about Supreme Court, the Supreme Court rollback abortion rights, pass it to the states. They're talking about doing the same thing with gay marriage. They're talking about just that pendulum swinging back to some things that.
But this will be the culture war divide piece right here. That's the inflammatory thing. Where like that's also parts where Charlie Kirk petitions so much of like all of his debates and the Turning Point USA. They all kind of hinge on like the abortion debate. That's a big one. The gay marriage debate is a big one for him. Gun rights debate is a big, like all the trans thing is a big one. LGBTQ, like he hinged, I guess you would say, on a lot of those points. But I guess really quick, I wanted to circle back to Johnny. Do you think that one could possibly say that it becomes a cop out to blame it specifically on mental health? This past Sunday, we kind of spoke about the banality of evil, but generally speaking, when you look at like what it takes for people to get to a space in which they feel that it is their duty to do said thing. I don't know if it always gets to a point where they have to be specifically mentally ill as much as propagandized. Like again, if we go to just the example of what it took mentally to get mass populations to commit mass atrocious war crimes and evils, and whether you want to look at Israel right now, you want to look at Nazi Germany, you can go back to whenever you want to go to. Are these people that commit these specific acts mentally ill, or are they propagandized to believe that it is their duty to act out said thing? If not, like whether it's their ideology.
I give way more pass of like the people in the past for like the night where like there's a lot less information in Nazi Germany. Thing is way more controlled. You have way less, freedom than you do here. So I think
what about the IDF?
You say what, the IDF?
Yeah, you think that they just are evil, or you think that they're propagandized?
I think they're incentivized. Maybe not propaganda.
You just think they're evil and getting paid for it?
I mean, I honestly like some of the stuff that happens in Gaza. Like I do. Like I mean, like some of the things I've seen over there, do lead me to believe that. Like, and even some of the American soldiers, like some of the things that we see our people do, and then they come back and they have PTSD from doing it. So I think you do have to, have a certain level of cognitive dissonance to commit some of these things that are evil, that you know aren't right.
Mental illness. That just means that you don't connect the dots to specific things.
Or maybe not specifically mental, but I think that I don't know, but I do think there is something that is a disconnect for you to be able to do these things that just are against your principle, and then just rationalize it based on a particular identity. To me, there is something wrong with the way your mind works if that's the case. I think that would happen in a lot of spaces. I think that's how you get to like you're able to do this thing to said community because you don't identify them as human. And I think that's where a lot of it kind of boils down to.
And again, too, like I guess Q, where also too, we start talking about culture. I was thinking black culture more.
No, we ain't got there.
So that's why I'm like, this ain't even really a like.
Would you say that
is it an American culture war? I can agree, but I don't even think that the split is left versus right. That's what they're trying to make it be. But the reality is like that's not even really the split, because it's people. Like I said, it's people. It's plenty of conservatives who want, say, abortion to be a thing, who want gay rights to be a thing, who want all these other things. There's plenty of conservatives who are pro those things. So it's not like a left-right split, but they're really trying to make it where it's like you either are this or that. They're basically trying to make it like so there's no more middle ground. It's just this versus that.
Maybe I gotta find more of these spaces. To me, I'd be hard pressed to hear. And maybe if you don't want to say left versus right, you might say liberal versus conservative. But all like all the spaces that's fairly conservative, they draw the line. In the spaces that are fairly liberal, they draw the line. But let me ask you a quick question, G, before we throw the A Black, let him hop in here. I understand you said like when you said culture, you thought black culture, so you kind of was like, it really ain't got much to do with us. But I guess you also just backloaded it with the idea that you don't really look at it as left or right or liberal versus conservative. My question would have been, do you think that more of Black America identifies with a specific side that would eventually kind of loop them into that culture? You can answer it if you want, but you kind of like softly denied the answer.
Honestly, I don't think so, because I don't think quote unquote Black Democrats are going to want to fall on the sword for this civil war. I don't think they're going to want to pick up their battle sword to do this quote unquote civil war shit.
Not to?
Huh?
What gives them the choice not to? Like the loudest, like typically like the caricatures for them left ends up being like Cory Booker or what's the black lady name from Texas?
Crockett.
Yeah, Crockett. Like they can't not. There's nothing they can do. Like they call them the Nazis and fascists. And,
no. Okay, black politicians is one thing. I'm talking about Black people who vote Democrat, who identify as Democrats. Like the average Black person walking around the street.
I think they agree with most of their talking points. Like the talking points that they're warring on. What are the ones that
they don't feel as strongly? I guarantee you, they're not ready to die on this hill. I can guarantee you, I can guarantee you that they're not ready to die on this hill. That'd be I bet my money.
I ain't trying to down none of them hills.
Because I don't think the Black conservatives want to down that hill on that side either. Like honestly, I don't think Black folks see this as I think this is white on white crime. I don't see this as a Black, like, you know, this is something where the whites are battling it out. The whites are gonna have to, you know, only one white can make it through. It's the Hunger Games of the whites, man. This is between them. They're not even really worried about us. This is between them. This is a power struggle between them.
I guess I'm trying to connect it, but what are the things? What are the things that they're saying that doesn't directly impact Black people? Because like for example, the Charlie Kirk was huge on the campaign for DEI.
They already rolled it back,
right? But it's a pointed point that impacted Black people. When they rolled it back, it impacted Black people the most, even though
but that's not true, because who was the biggest beneficiary of DEI?
Right, but that's where it's fucked at. The biggest beneficiary was white women. The biggest impact was first Black women, then Black men. When you look at the unemployment stats after DEI got rolled back, like it disproportionately impacted Black people, even though they wasn't the biggest beneficiary. You do the same thing with rollback of affirmative action. Black people end up getting impacted most by these liberal policies when they get rolled back.
From what I saw from the DEI research, it was the Asian community that got hit the worst with the DEI rollbacks.
Inside what like Black women unemployment rose higher than anybody else's.
But student enrollment, like DEI just wasn't about employment. It was also student enrollment, access to things like that as well. Like,
I know that like higher education, schooling, like Harvard, Asians was impacted the most.
That's one of the biggest use cases for affirmative action that caused to repeal it was like unfair folks taking white folks spots at universities.
Right, but the workplace version of it, whereas like the major majority of America was impacted on, like the Asians campaigned against that heavy, where like, but they're such a small minority and that's a minute group. Even when you look at like their representation at these institutions, but when you talk employment stats, it was kind of drastic how it impacted Black women.
Okay, that's my first time hearing that correlation as it relates to Black women. Again,
I'll pull up the stats.
If Black people disproportionately were not able to take advantage of DEI, then I don't see how it wasn't like, if you look at the pie of folks getting hired for DEI, it wasn't like Black folks were like 6 on the list from what I remember.
Right.
So So if you take away that program,
and then when it rolls back,
we weren't really benefiting from it in the first place.
Right, but it's the accusation of incompetency, which is pretty much what Charlie Kirk stood on, where he was like he did the whole airplane. If I go on, and it's a black airplane, even though no matter what, there was never like a change of standards. If you was a pilot, you had to pass all the standardized things. It was a rigorous course. There never had been leniency for DEI inside there. Same thing with unemployment. Black people didn't benefit from it, but they were always questioned. It was always questioned in credential wise. With that said, once the DEI and all that rollback happened, the targets was black people, black women at that. I'll pull it.
Yeah, the reports I saw was Asians got hurt the most with the DEI rollbacks, but yeah.
Apologies. Hey, Black, welcome to the show. Talk to us, brother.
So, what's the specific question y'all are on?
I don't even know if we've made it past where we was at. We kind of got into a couple tangents. I guess I'll ask you your general take. So about a week ago, Charlie Kirk got shot. Internet went ablaze. And there was multiple reactions, especially within the black community. You had some indifference. You had some people that felt empathetic. You had some people that felt like it was justified. What was your initial reaction, and has your reaction changed since the whole shooting and everything has happened a week ago?
My initial reaction was, this is fake, or this is stage, or this AI, just because, we don't see the actual assassination in front of us like that over and over. So I was watching the video, and then I was like, damn, it's crazy. I didn't know who he was, which I was surprised too with kind of the stuff he talks about. I'm like, damn, he ain't come across my radar once. I did see the South Park episode with them mocking him, but I didn't know that was him that was being mocked at the time. So, it was indifference initially. It was like, well, damn, that's crazy. And then popped the white dude in the head, and then all the other stuff start coming into the algorithm. All his things he said. I went and watched his Jubilee episode. It was like him versus 20 liberals, and he did all right on this. So he said some things that I was agreeing with, but then the subtly racist clips, or sometimes not so subtle clips, was coming out. And even it's kind of how he says things, like the whole, if I see a pilot and he's black, I'm going to feel uncomfortable. And I'm like, damn, I ain't never even thought that. As many planes I've been on, I've never looked at the pilot and whether to check if it was a black, white, a woman. I'd be like, thank you. It's literally never crossed my mind to what color the pilot is. So it just it was wild that they think like that and about us. And, the whole brain power with the black women thing. So he'll say little shit like that, and then he'll say some stuff where it's like, okay, I agree with that too. Everybody not always wrong, but for me it was the reaction of the white people. Like it's really their MLK and all of this stuff, and and then a white person did it to him. A white conservative did it to him. So all the stuff he's going city to city preaching about, one of his own did that to him, So, and they got a video of him debating the shooter a few months ago, and them going back and forth. And then them debates he does in public, I think some of them be plants. I don't think some of them people be that dumb. I think they pay or plant certain people to go up there and ask them a certain question and act a certain way,
so we can get his talking point off.
Yeah, exactly. And it's all a production. Even the people that's asking the question. So I don't believe these people just the best you can find to debate. This random person in the crowd, these stereotypical woke kids and shit like that. But it was really just the reaction, and then it happened the same day. You got a school shooting, and then next week you got two dudes being hung from trees in Mississippi. You got the bombing in Qatar from Israel. So it's like it's all this shit happening. But this nigga's on Air Force 2. They having a funeral at a football stadium, like half flags, half mast. I'm like, all over a YouTube influencer, pretty much. Like, he's speaking, and I don't
like he was more than just a YouTube influencer.
Yeah, I will give him that.
His demographic was like under 30 white males, but his influence is a large reason why Trump got reelected, no question. And Trump knows that. Everybody knows that.
Maybe one could argue Elon Musk with the purchase of Twitter, but outside of Elon Musk, there wasn't anybody that impacted the presidency and him winning again more than Charlie Kirk. From like the grassroots to what he did, his money, and then like you said, like all of the YouTube and different things like that.
He genuinely missed me on the radar, which is crazy because I feel like something would have came up with him in it, but I never heard of him at all.
Yeah, I'll be listening to the extremists on both sides, so he done popped inside the.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, damn, well, at least he'll come up, but I haven't had nothing, so it was kind of crazy that I didn't really know the depth of his influence, and like I said, now it's in my algorithm, so I got videos of him every day, everywhere, talking. And like I say, some shit it's like, okay, I'm with him, and then some shit I'm like, all right, he kind of racist. So I don't know, Then Candace Owens, she going out, that's like her best friend. She got she's saying all type of other shit. Like
she blaming it on the whatever size hats y'all say they got. That's his own different little interesting conspiracy theory as well.
She's going crazy with that one.
I think she was having a current affair with him. Like they definitely used to smash, but she going off like they still was doing something on the low. They known each other since kids and shit.
He probably didn't.
Who knows? I don't know.
Nah,
she's definitely on one right now.
He smashed. That was like her first love or something. She going off.
Allegedly, Candace, don't come try and sue us. She
they trying to say she was like the side piece.
She's something. I love her though, man. She cute to me too.
Like, hey, listen,
nobody ever said she was ugly. I ain't never heard that.
Hey, Black said I love her.
On a war path. If it's one thing about it, like she done wage war on Trump now, on Nick Fuentes, on Israel, on black folk, on the left, on the right. She now finally on her. Like they both sides is evil. I'm independent. Like she didn't just like said F you to everybody. What's some people over in France? She's saying that he got a peanut. I mean, she got a peanut
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, because if somebody shot her, I'll be mad though. I'll really be mad because
she said fuck all psychologists, sociologists.
He can throw too, Steve. He's quarterback.
Who you talking about?
They're saying Charlie was low key an athlete.
He was elite 11 quarterback with Jimmy Garoppolo back in the day.
He always say he ain't go to college.
I seen him throw the football, bro. He dropped a dot.
I think he went to like 1 year college, if I'm not mistaken. I know he dropped out. I mean, I think he dropped out. I know he didn't graduate.
Yeah, he said college is scam.
Nah.
So, Q, what's the difference between going and not graduating and going and dropping out?
You're right. We call those.
I didn't know if there was a difference.
No. I just fucked up. Players fuck up sometimes.
I say that that's a whole new one for me. I was like, damn, you can't say, you gotta say unalive. Now you gotta say niggas can't drop out no more. Like,
I ain't had no smart way to put that one together right there. That was a fuck up. But all right, so I guess as we start moving down the line, we're eventually gonna get into like this free speech conversation. But from words to bullets, did inflammatory rhetoric pull the trigger on Charlie Kirk? Do y'all think that Charlie Kirk crossed the line, or was he just telling his truth to his people?
Nah, I don't think he said nothing that was too like he gotta die. I mean,
that's not the question. That's not the question. That's not the question. Nobody deserves to die. The question was, did he cross the line?
But I do think the line is that you gotta die.
That's the line. So that's the line we drawing.
Inside, well, that was the line that he crossed and that was the result. So I mean, yes, in my opinion, when we say cross the line to where it's matter of fact, G, I'm gonna let you navigate this one. I'll let you. That was my way of looking at it, but you might have a better nuance with it.
No, because like we all agree nobody deserves to die over.
No, me, you, and Johnny did. We got to hear A Black.
Okay, all right, fair.
Yeah, I like I say, I've heard some shit that was like, I can see why people don't like him, but I didn't. Maybe I haven't come across the clip or nothing yet where I'm like, all right, he crossed the line. Like, you know, a lot of the shit I've seen, it's just like, okay, you know, but I don't know. Like somebody would have to show me something that's like line crossing. Like you said, some off the wall shit for sure.
So the thing about the pilot isn't say a cross line as an example.
It's prejudice for sure. It's ignorant, but it's not nothing that would make me like want to protest in the street. Like I'm like, all right, that's how you feel. That's prejudice as fuck, but I don't think that's like line crossing. He didn't say like, "Oh, these monkeys flying the plane" or some shit like that.
So, really quickly, like let's stay there real quick. So, if he did say the monkeys flying the plane, would that be warranting a death certificate or like actual physical violence?
And even that,
let's just say physical violence.
Yeah, even that wouldn't like. I can't think of too many words. But like I said, I'm not educated on him enough. I don't know his following and what he's inciting in them that could be considered line crossing.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like I didn't hear nothing real super incendiary. Like he said some racist, subtly racist shit, some overtly racist shit, some sexist shit.
Mm.
But I ain't come across nothing where I was like, oh yeah, this dude wild.
Hey, chat.
That's all par for the course, right? Overtly racist, sexist. That's just regular talk.
Hey, chat, if y'all have any clips that might make sense for us to see and give us better context, make sure y'all send it. Post it inside the chat. We'll click it. Call in, come in, and maybe we'll give y'all like another 20-15 minutes of the Four Horsemen, and then we'll go to the call in. But
okay, yeah, like the comment said, I did see like he does that little gaslighting stuff where, you know, when they was asking even before he got shot, they was asking him about gun violence. He'll try to curve it back to gang violence, and he does that little shit that they do, that racial prejudice. But I think everybody got some type of prejudice. Like if you walk into the doctor office and a little Mexican lady come around as your doctor, you know, you might not be racist, but you're also not used to that in your world. So you might question it, you know, or somebody come looking a certain way. I'm just saying.
Like if you at a real hospital, it's one thing if you in like the third world, some shit. But like if you had like a top-notch hospital, like in Charlotte, and somebody coming there who barely speak English, you really gonna be nervous about the treatment?
You gonna be questioning.
I didn't know he said that she didn't speak English, but
I mean that's another layer. Now I really
when he just said the Hispanic, I thought
now look, when I say speak English, you don't have to speak some English, but you know a lot of medical professionals have thick accents. I mean, like it's just a normal like when a lot of medical professionals, at least in the Triangle City of Medicine at that in Durham, like it's a lot of healthcare stuff. A lot of these niggas have thick accents. And that doesn't make me think twice about like, because to get that job and to do this work, like accent aside, you're gonna have to be qualified. Like I do believe that, like how we said about the pilot, like regardless of DEI, like there are certain things you got to do to be in this role, and if you meet those qualifications, like accent, ethnicity, background, like I don't know.
We all agree with that, G.
Yeah, I mean, like he say insulting things and offensive depending on who you are. I'm not an easily offended person, but I can see people being offended by some things he says. But like I said, I ain't heard nothing where it was just like, oh man, I hate this dude. Like
it should be open season on him.
I'm like, yeah. That's it.
Johnny,
Right?
did he ever? What would you say? Do you think that Charlie Kirk crossed the line, or he was just speaking his truth to his people?
I mean, I think crossed the line or not. I don't think he ever really, like they said. There's some things he said that I didn't agree with.
Mm-hmm.
But nothing where I'm like, oh my god. But I think, I mean, there's some things where I think he definitely tried to be like offensive to, or kind of towards black people in general. But I mean, he's not the first, he's not the last. And like, as black people, we've never like, there are people out here that have said worse about us that we've, just let walk around. So and like,
Mm-hmm.
whether he crossed our line or not, we're not violent people, and we're not the ones that even did anything. So I mean, there was a line that he crossed with whoever did this, and I think it was a far it was way closer, and I think he got I don't know why that guy was tripped off, but as far as black people, I mean, we've been offended our whole time in this country, so it's not the first person that said something offensive about us, probably not going to be the last person. So whether he crossed the line or not, I don't think it really
Okay,
matters.
so you're saying that being offended by itself isn't enough for open season?
Right? Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Because if that's the case, a lot of people about to be getting popped. Cause
yeah.
a lot of strong opinions out here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he probably crossed the line, but I mean, there's somebody that he crossed a line with, and it wasn't about race or whatever, because the guy who did it, that wasn't the line that what made ever happen the way black people feel. It's not the reason he's no longer here. And there's been a lot of people that have had negative opinions towards us, and they're still here. And so, whether we are offended or not, I think that's kind of besides the point because we didn't do this.
And then Cannon.
Okay. Go ahead. I'm listening.
I'm just like, is he we got any type of political office or official power outside of just like general influence and like being a speaker or a podcaster, things like that?
He didn't have any official political power. I guess they called him the Trump whisperer. But outside of that, yeah, I think they would say that he would be the most important person in MAGA not named Donald Trump. That's what like MAGA would pretty much say.
Yeah, I guess I don't know shit about MAGA then, because I ain't know nothing about him.
Yeah,
that's why it's like it's hard to be offended by somebody that I ain't.
Yeah, if you go back to like election day, he was on the stage crying with Trump and all that. Yeah,
I ain't even watched none of that.
Yeah, he went in the guys for them.
They all honestly, them white dudes, they all look alike. I probably seen them, and I ain't even know that was him.
I ain't know he was only 30. Like white dudes age crazy.
Man, it's like spoiled milk.
G. Well, I guess you've kind of given a bit of it. So let me ask y'all this: when does and we're going to start walking our way into free speech in a second. I'll play Pam Bondi and Trump's conversation about hate speech and what they want to do with hate speech. But I guess so. It sounds like being offended to everybody isn't enough for open season. So let me ask y'all this: when does speech stop being just words?
When you make direct threats.
So like inciting an act.
Yeah, like
or threats. So you said
they're like once you start, like, because at the end of the day, if you say like you verbally threaten me, at that point, I can't wait for you to physically assault me to respond. Like that's just how that go. Like I'm sorry. So all that talking, like you start making threats, you gonna do this, gonna do that. Now I gotta proactively protect. So that to me is where it crosses the line. You can have an opinion, but don't make any direct threats. Period.
What was the question again? Repeat it one more time.
When does it get dangerous?
When does speech stop being just words?
Oh,
like when is it justified for open season?
I think when you say something that actually mobilizes people to act and to do something destructive, like if you can talk and people are like, yeah, Charlie, and they get up and they go outside and damage something based on somebody's word, that's something. But if that's not happening, like people not really mobilizing, a lot of people are cowards, and they big in the crowd or they big online and stuff. But to me, it gets dangerous when somebody has the power to mobilize people and they do what they say, like either like a military general or a cult leader or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like you actually, if I say everybody go do this, they go do it,
I think that matters too, because I think like your influence matters in that it's not just the words you say. We're like, if I'm on the street and I just say, "Hey, we should go do this," and nobody goes does it, that's one thing. But if I'm in a political office and I say, "Hey, go do this," and 100 people go do it, I think that's when it's gone too far. And I think the reach of your influence matters in your responsibility of your words. I think that's like if you have power, there is more responsibility on your words than just the average person.
Gotcha. All right. I guess with that said, I want to play two clips and then get y'all reaction to it, and we'll continue from there. This is Attorney General Pam Bondi.
The more law enforcement going after these groups who are using hate speech and putting cuffs on people, so we show them that some action is better than no action.
We will absolutely target you, go after you if you are targeting anyone with hate speech, anything, and that's across the aisle.
Now, Attorney General Pam Bondi is going so far as to say that the Justice Department would go after anyone who engages in what she deemed hate speech. The Attorney General later clarifying on social media that hate speech that crosses the line into threats of violence.
Damn, I ain't even get the good one. My bad, y'all. That wasn't the full clip, but we can get Donald Trump saying his piece about the same thing.
You're saying she's going to go after hate speech. Is that, I mean, a lot of your allies say hate speech is free speech. You probably go after people like you because you go unfairly with hate. You have a lot of hate in your heart. ABC. Well, ABC paid me $16 million recently for a form of hate speech. Right? Your company paid me $16 million for a form of hate speech. So maybe they'll have to go after you. Look, we want everything to be fair. It hasn't been fair. And the radical left has done tremendous damage to the country. But we're fixing it. We have right now the hottest country anywhere in the world. And remember, 1 year ago, our country was dead. And now Washington, D.C. is fixed, and I fix it. From there was...
Yeah,
yo, that nigga, all he want to do is just talk shit to niggas, bro. Like that's hilarious, bro.
He I also thought that I agree. One, Trump is hilarious.
New York,
and talker, boy. And
with him, he
like a lot of hate in your heart.
He don't need no rehearsing. Like he need to go here and talk some shit. Oh,
like he threatens like a mob boss at that. Like it's kind of like subtle innuendo, like, but you get the point to
it's
it.
Tough, but that's
they just paid me $16 million because of some hate speech.
Maybe they'll go. Maybe they come holler at you next.
Yo, that's
if they do, they're coming for you. I say, like, that's crazy to hear the president say that about you.
Yo,
16 billion, I'd shit my pants, boy.
Hilarious.
Yeah, a hater like you. Look at you. Ask your company. Hating ass. They paid me money.
Like, man, them niggas pay 16 million.
Just walking to the helicopter talking shit on the way there.
Like, and he was like, you know what? We're the hottest country. Like, nigga, what?
America was dead a year ago.
We're the hottest country
right now.
Niggas can't even get in our country. How
you pay from outside?
Yo, he said we the hottest. What kind of, like, bro? That's hilarious. We the hottest.
But yes, nonetheless, inside like the longer form of Pam Bondi's thing, she did speak specifically to the hate rhetoric to the what they call the radical left, and then she did a second interview when she spoke about targeting specific groups from the left and their hate speech, and that they're looking to put federal charges on them. The person asked them what group. She said, well, I ain't gonna say the names, but like she went to the idea of like they're actually actively attempting to do this. And I guess to round it off, Pam Bondi and Trump's stance on this is actually like a splintering point with the right, where a lot of them are pushing back. I think that if you look at Pam Bondi's numbers, they dropped like 15%. But generally speaking, a lot of right-wing conservatives are pushing back against this in general, because if you know the right, the conservatives, they are like the free speech, anti-censorship, quote unquote grouping. So it's kind of left them inside like a very interesting space. But fellas, thoughts, hate speech.
I think this is why politics is so annoying to me. It's because you just see the right and the left do the same thing, just at different times. And whoever has the power, they're gonna use the same games. And it's why, the average person in politics always just gets left out. Because 8 years ago, it was cancel culture. It was the left side, and they was all, it's the same. It's literally the same conversations. They just flip colors and flip
Yeah,
characters.
they change hate speech and cancel culture.
And it's like,
concept.
and that's why it's so annoying, because it'd be real, actual problems. It's real things that the American people, care about, and these politicians tend to focus on. And it's a game. They focus on certain shit to keep us distracted from what's going on, and you see it on
John,
both
you mean to
sides.
tell me trans in women's sports isn't like the biggest thing in America?
What you mean?
It's
You
not.
said, huh?
I was agreeing with you, Johnny. Don't worry about it. Keep going.
Okay. Yeah, I ain't talking about them.
They distract us with the culture war shit, and when it's real actual problems with the people.
Oh yeah,
that was an example of it. Go ahead.
Okay, I see. I thought you were trying to trip me up, boy.
That wasn't tripping you.
But yeah, no, that's the thing. It's the same. Like, I get tired of hearing the same rhetoric on both sides, just depending on whoever has the power now. Like, who's offended? They was just calling the left snowflakes and stuff, and like talking like big boy shit about them crying and stuff. And now, right now, they doing the same thing. Oh my God, that's hateful speech, and it's annoying.
You said they call them snowflakes?
The right.
That's what they used to call them.
They used to call the left.
I ain't heard that one.
All right, you all right, Nana, I get it. You actually don't be tapped in it out. That Nana makes sense. If you didn't hear the right, call the left snowflakes.
What year was this? This was recently?
This is like the past 5 years.
It's been longer than that, probably.
This ain't new rhetoric at all.
I ain't never heard of niggas call niggas snowflakes, man. That's new for me. That's funny. That's pretty funny. That's a good one.
Okay. Now I see why you don't think the left and right is at war. Yeah.
Snowflakes is a good one.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, snowflakes is a good one.
A Black reaction. What's your thoughts? The whole hate speech thing.
Hate speech. It's like
them trying to ban hate speech.
Yeah, it's hypocritical. Like for one, you talking about this man y'all love getting killed over free speech and over saying his opinion. Yet at the same time, y'all are actively targeting people for their opinion. And these are powerless people. Like, they're not riling nobody up with a tweet or a Facebook comment, and they about to make somebody hurt somebody. Like, some people should be careful depending on what job you deal with. If you're in a field where you might work with white people, you might want to watch what you say online right now. But it's hypocritical, and like Johnny was saying, like, they just gonna go back and forth. It's like the Republicans are kind of being petty with the whole, this is hate speech, because that's what the Democrats have been on for years, canceling people and being offended by every single thing. So it's like now they're kind of taking their own shit and using it against them, and they're the victims. White people are the victims. White people are being replaced. They're trying to take our America, and so we're the victims now. We're oppressed. Like, they want to be oppressed so bad.
Victim mentality.
They walk around having vigils and shit for Charlie Kirk, like he MLK. Like, they really want to be victims so bad. But
damn, Charlie is there, like the MAGA MLK, ain't he?
That was one of Charlie Kirk's talking points, was like he was replacing the whites. Like, whites are getting replaced. That was one of his major talking points.
Yeah, he also started shitting on MLK towards the end too.
Oh yeah,
he said MLK was horrible and all this stuff, and
yeah,
but that's what they calling him, their version of that. But the difference is
he's redneck MLK now.
Yeah, what they can't comprehend is MLK, Malcolm. Our people was fighting for people who were genuinely getting oppressed out here. It was genuinely like getting ostracized. Like, this guy, they have created a narrative of their oppression, and he's going around as like their champion for something that they're not losing. Like you're not losing America. Like we don't own, black people don't got no airlines, no fucking S&P stock firms, or like none of the major infrastructure of the country, steel companies, real shit. We own none of that. What are y'all crackers losing? Like they're not losing nothing. That's what I don't
they black that right now. You throwing a dog whistle for the FBA boys. They about to come in here and attack.
I mean,
it's what he go ahead.
Charlie, one of they boys. Like,
I ain't no comment. So I guess G, I'll ask you if the hate speech ban was to happen, and this is everybody. I'll just start with G. Are black activists and creators going to be the first to be silenced under these new hate speech laws and things of sort?
I believe so, because I saw a video where it was a girl in college. She was saying the hate thing or whatever. She got kicked off of campus. But in the video, you can also hear one of the white boys dropping the hard R. Like very clearly in the video. I'm like, wait a minute, y'all didn't hear that one? Like y'all didn't, like y'all. There's two instances of hate speech here, and only one of them's getting called out right now. Like I heard the hard R very clearly in the video, and we ain't talking about that.
Yeah, what constitutes hate speech for the whites?
Whatever they
like, what they say that could be.
Because like, what's a white slur?
Well, you know, you can't say nothing about Jewish people, so that's out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that well, we already know. We already know any anti-Semitic rhetoric is already had its place in hate speech and protected speech. So that's like already been solidified.
Maybe it's like calling them fascists or Nazis.
No, but I actually did an experiment at the job about this. They don't get offended. That's like that. I said that was their superpower. It's like you could call it whatever, and because like they stood on that freedom of speech and not getting offended. What
was you attempting to call them though? Was you calling them Nazis?
There ain't even no real power word.
No, I was like, I asked them. I was like, what word could I call you that you would get offended by?
Ain't none.
Like, and they was like, none.
Ain't none.
I think that
they literally
that Yahtzee word get to him. I'm starting to see it. Piers Morgan.
This was a while ago. I might need to check it. I might need to do a new poll.
Yeah, that one or you call them. What's the opposite of being anti-Semitic?
They don't like redneck.
A Zionist. Yeah. You can't call like the redneck MAGAs a Zionist. I think that will probably turn them up too.
They don't like that. But see, that's not like that was a thing. Like that's not a term specifically.
That's not a slur.
Yeah.
All right. So there's a bunch of versions of like a slur and like how loaded it has in the history behind it. I'm using like something that you can use to insult somebody to trigger them. Not necessarily that it has had as much historical context as like saying, the N-word with an ER at the end of it or anything like that, as much as just something that can instantly trigger a group and they look at it as derogatory to who they stand as.
I mean, I think with white people, what offends them is not having empathy for them. Like they are used to not caring about everybody else, but the world usually stops for white women and white men, and it still did recently for the white woman on the train and for Charlie Kirk. But now with social media, with all this access, you also get people's opinions, and now they're being offended that you're not empathetic enough for them. Even though they've been laughing and joking at George Floyd and everybody that dies, they justify and find a reason for why their life wasn't worth it. If we're not empathetic to them, they're offended. We can't say nothing to them that offends them. Call them a cracker, call them all the names, but not caring about them, like it's offensive to them. Because
what offends them is doing better than them. That's where they get offended. They be like, "Oh hell no! Like, ain't no way I'm at this level and this nigga's doing this." Like, it make them angry. I know it do. So
you still enjoying your life and we hurting and stuff, or we getting shot down. Now they feel like they getting shot down.
Sometimes So sometimes you got not getting mad, piss them off too. You walk in unbothered too. Sometimes they
Yeah, don't be too happy.
smile.
Oh,
But
A
why they never
happy nigga will
wanna
bother them too.
why they never want to look themselves in the mirror, and like it's never no story about the violence of white men and how they prone to violence and prone to shoot and kill each other, and then when the white men do something, it's never white American man or white Christian man. They give them their name, but let it have been a Muslim or let it have been a black man, they go emphasize black man, Muslim man. They gonna be wanting to attack a whole country.
Identity
One person.
politics come into play.
They
When it's
don't
like,
never put Christian on these white guys' names, but they be Christian, and they.
I mean, I said racists love to hide behind Jesus, man. It's just a reality, unfortunately. It's just in America, Jesus has been a shield for racist white folks from the start, and that's just what it is.
he helped. I mean, that was the only book we could read back in the day.
That was Jesus has been a shield for racist whites from the start.
And the real Jesus wouldn't fuck with none of them. It's crazy. He don't be about none of the stuff that they be on.
Gotcha.
He was with the criminal. He was with the poor folks. He walked amongst the people.
All right. So I guess as we continue moving on the conversation, outrage. Let me ask you this: do y'all think that America is addicted to outrage? Right now, do y'all think that we have a left and right cycle of escalation happening, where it's almost like one side is attempting to escalate past where the last one was just that. Right now, you're hearing the murmurs of retaliation. I don't know what is y'all thoughts. We could kind of start there. America and the outrage machine that has become our political discourse.
Well, rage bait is a thing. Like online, they have like videos of like people like purposely like rage baiters. So I think we just kind of
you could argue that Charlie Kirk was a rage baiter.
Yeah, I think we feed off that kind of like.
I think that you a lot of people identify him as that.
The master debater, as South Park called him.
Oh, I gotta watch. Oh, they deleted the episode.
They deleted it. Yeah,
I gotta find it on
YouTube. It's no, they just pulled it out of rerun rotation, but it's still you can find it everywhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they just not showing it on Comedy Central right now.
Damn it.
That's crazy too, low key. South Park pulled that episode. That's crazy.
That's how scary the times are, though.
South Park don't pull no punches.
Yeah, like they didn't talk about it. So that I mean, that shows like honestly, like it's scary because like if South Park, if like they done talked about everybody and stood on business, and now they backing down.
I think they under Disney now, Comedy Central, and South Park might be the last little edgy thing that they got left. But I think it's because they under that Disney umbrella now.
Yeah, I just say like South Park satire is always A1. So I would love to see that Charlie Kirk episode. You said they call him Master Debater.
Master Debater, yeah. But yeah,
I can only imagine where
that's too.
So they got him like living in his mom's house in the
they had to take down that hate speech
on the laptop. And the mom knocked on the door, like, "Come out that bathroom." Like, no, I'm debating. I'm a master debater. I'm master debating. She's like, "You've been master debating for too long." You gotta watch that episode. But yeah, I think people like being mad, man. People like being mad, funny. And people like playing on it. A lot of people going through a lot of shit, and using it online as a way to project your frustration with life, your own life, whatever going on, onto strangers. So you see that, like, people praying on that, like, how can we make people mad? Because that's what gets engagement, which gets monetization. It's like it's a thing, and people you look at some shit like, why are you angry about this? You didn't even know this person existed. Like, but you about to unfollow 5 people on your timeline because they said fuck Charlie Kirk. You don't even know You didn't even know who this dude was, but you knew these people since elementary school. Like, what are we doing?
But like, I think that's the scary part about it, because like the rage bait thing, some people purposely sit out here to test people and piss them off and get them to do the thing. And like, if you can see that on a a micro level, if you zoom it out, like what do you think politics is? Or it's the same thing where they designed to like enrage the public and to get us to do crazy things. I think that's one thing as people we have to like just be cognizant of, like just being cool and calm headed, especially like you say with people that we don't even know. Like half black, half people wasn't even aware of Charlie Kirk, and now there's all these strong opinions about him. It's,
Gotcha. But I guess as we move it a little bit away from him and just speak about like where we're at as American society in general, do y'all think that we are addicted to outrage? Like for example, if I use like a group that we're all in, for example, and like, like, oh my God. Like it's interesting, but like there's a chat that we have that's been going on maybe what like 6 months or something like that, 5 or 6 months, where maybe like 12 hours a day
at least
it's like outrage bait against each other daily of the like some of the most inflammatory things.
I think that's
I don't think that's like a siloed event or situation.
I think they really love each other in that chat, but that's another
niggas
conversation.
don't be walking around in real life that mad.
I think they be at their day job that mad or whatever. Like it's no way that you working and being productive with
like
that
smiling and laughing.
Nigga boiling, looking at his manager in the face, like, God damn, I hate the man.
It'd be 95. It'd be 95 messages later. I was like, I ain't reading nothing. But yeah, nonetheless, to me, like one thing that I did notice, just like using that as like an interesting experiment, in my opinion. I'd just be looking at it. I'd be like, like there is some gratification and satisfaction that people are getting out of being able to be outraged and then say the most egregious shit possible over like a digital avatar. What do y'all think? Do you think that is an actual real issue that we have in America?
Yeah, not only is it a real issue, you see it further exacerbated on these social media platforms via how the algorithm functions. The algorithm is there to drive profit, and that profit is driven by keeping eyes on the platform. And most of these algorithms, for the most part, figure out the things that actually is like you said, that really like spark that rage in you. And once it knows that, it will feed you things to keep you in that wormhole, to keep you on that platform. And this is like proven from all the social media algorithms. They intentionally do that because they know it's profitable. So that's why I'm saying, to your point, it's not just
I agree. I gave this example on Sunday, but I want to give it again. I think that Fat Boy might have been on here when he said it. Shout out Fat Boy. Fat Boy the homie. Trump said he's sending them troops to Memphis.
Man, you saw them boys took them tanks. That shit is funny, boy.
But I don't know if y'all remember this, but whether it was on the show or after show, where we were speaking about Gaza inside some capacity, in some version of like, you know what I mean? Damn, shit kind of fucked up what's happening over there in Gaza. And then he say, all I ever see is them guys in Gaza saying F Black Americans. And I was like, like this is such like a very interesting space to where you be getting in your algorithm repeatedly the F Black American Gaza, you know what I mean, like reels and Instagrams. But what it comes down to is that it's going to send, like the algorithm's going to send you everything. And honestly, I think that he really seen that, and that's what he gets fed when it comes down to the Gaza thing, because they understands what triggers him. But when looking at it, the reality is that like that's such a minute group of anybody that will be talking and that's representative when it comes down to Gaza. But for him, that's what his reality is because of most of the content that he's getting fed through the algorithm ends up being anti-black, and that's more or less how it's shaded. Johnny,
can I but I think that's a big problem in society because I think there are consequences from this being like mass consumed thing, social media, where if it is something that like constantly enraging, like even I was speaking about the mental health, and where like even China and a lot of this algorithm that's based on the TikTok algorithm, they don't have that shit for their people. It's something they kind of let just experiment it with us, but we see like the effects that it has on mental health. They even talked about like short form videos and like how damaging it is to the mental, the psyche and stuff. So I think when I was speaking of mental health, and we see the uptick in political violence this year over last year, I think it could be attributed to, like I say, a lot of this rage bait, a lot of the algorithmic, feeds that we have where it's going to show you the thing that engages you, which usually is something that's angry, and over a constant period of time, that's going to wear on your mental health long term. I think we're seeing it over, a societal, thing, and we see it in the violence. There's been a doubling of political violence, year over year, this year from last year to this year. So it's I think it's kind of a scary thing. And I think we have to have more regulation on it to protect our society, especially the kids, because this happens to adults. Kids are even way more susceptible.
No, that's a fact. A Black.
What was the question again? I got
the cycle of escalation between both sides, and if America is addicted to outrage in general, whether it's inside your chat room, it's your social media algorithm, the need to go back and forth.
I think I answered first, but just to round it off, I think they're playing on divide and conquer has already been a concept utilized in a lot of different ways throughout history, and it's just the new digital algorithm way of keeping people constantly micro enraged because they don't last long, but you got to have consistent incidents. Meanwhile, like distracting them from things that actually matter, like you're angry about stuff that's like either you can't control or that don't matter, when it's like real shit going on that you should be focused on as a populace. It's like they kind of give you bullshit. It's like a cycle. Every week or two, it's some new shit people mad about. They forgot about the old thing already, and they on to the next thing. And people don't really care for real, and they're comfortable as a whole in America. Americans are comfortable to the point where it's not gonna be no civil war. There's gonna be some weirdos who put some mask on and do some weird shit. They're gonna get suppressed, but a major civil war is not happening because it's too many people comfortable. It's too many people who don't care, not participating in none of these conversations and none of this shit at all. They're going about their life, and they're not about to give up the comforts of their American life to go in the street and fight somebody for the color of their skin. Like,
again, what I think you gave like such an interesting point just then that I never really thought about, but it's probably like one of the biggest drivers of all this. Like we think about like clickbait and people getting outraged, but micro enraged probably is like the biggest moving factor because of like if you just sit and think about like the idea of being micro enraged, what it is that it's still a dopamine hit, and then the argument of back and forth is a dopamine hit, and then the fact of them needing to keep people consistently engaged inside that manner. And this is where you hear every single week there's 3 Trump stories that have to hit. And you know what I mean? Like when Biden was in, it was like three videos of him falling off his bike, whatever the shit was, right? But like that in itself desensitizes you to the point where you need a bigger dopamine hit, a bigger event, a bigger escalation. That's something I hadn't thought about, but I think that's a really, really poignant point. Nonetheless,
school shootings don't even do it no more. It's like,
that's what I'm saying. Like that's become normal. Like, so now we're looking. We got to see somebody head get shut off in real time now.
You got to see the blood. leaking
I
out
watched
there.
that video 100 times. Like
I have
I
not
didn't watch
watched
it
any
once.
of these videos. Now,
I mean, once
see,
you
that,
see it
I watched
once,
it once.
I
I
don't
mean,
watch
once you
any of
see it
these
once, you might
videos.
as well watch it
No,
because I mean, it ain't like you gonna forget it.
I don't
Like
watch that.
one time is too much because like
But
once you see
I
it,
be trying to see, like, is this real? Is this really happening? Like, cool, let me
oh,
watch it again. Like,
you one of them
Nah,
graphic
I'm
boys.
good.
It be people like that too online. They be watching all the
Yeah, no,
gory
listen.
videos.
Hey, Black sent a video inside
You
the
gotta go to
chat.
U.S. Crime.
I clicked it and then I seen what was. All right, let me get off of this really quickly. You probably should know which one that was, but shout out Fat Boy. Fat Boy, we was just talking about your Black Gaza algorithm. But yeah, shout out to him. Nonetheless, as we move forward, we haven't really gotten into the like we've talked about Charlie Kirk. We haven't made our way to Tyler Robinson yet. Again, I brought up the concept banality of evil. I seen the chat. The chat was buzzing earlier. They said that is this the real Manchurian candidate? What are y'all thoughts on Tyler Robinson and everything that's kind of swirling around this? Is this an ordinary person carrying out violence? Is this somebody that's been radicalized through micro enragement? Is this a political extremist from the right, left? I don't know. What is y'all thoughts? We said that you had we said you had the algorithm that was showing black or the guys and shitting on black people. That's what you told us. But yeah, fellas.
I don't know, man. I think he's just the average person that does like something like kind of violent like this. I mean, especially like in the political realm. I think he kind of fits the mold of somebody who could be radicalized. Kind of susceptible person. I don't really know too much about him, but he's a young guy, college age. They're easily swayable, and he grew up around guns. He grew up in a kind of a open shooting guns, so he had like the technical skills to do it. Probably had the weapons available. So I mean, it's just the perfect storm that
Do you
kind of
think most people can be radicalized?
I think younger people are way more susceptible to it at this day and age. I think the more time you spend online and chat rooms and stuff, you're easily susceptible to it. And I think also if you're not aware of like the games and things that are happening, you're easily susceptible. Now, if you're going in with the mindset of, oh, they trying to get me, you might not be, but if you believe in everything's in good faith, of course you're easily susceptible.
Got you. Do you know
Kind of
anybody?
naive.
Never mind. I'm gonna keep moving.
I think it can be.
At least stop, boy. Stop.
Hey, Black, go ahead.
I think he can be incentivized. Like, my theory is his own people took him out to make a martyr, and I also do believe the shit that Candace was saying about him starting to get pulled in the rooms to talk about certain things in certain ways, and him not wanting to. But I think they could easily kill him themselves, make a martyr, control that narrative, and this white dude Tyler, niggas will forget about him a month from now. Nobody's ever checking on these white boys. Like, he's still in jail. What's the update? They just disappear from the conversation. What's stopping them from sliding him out of the jail? He go back to his regular life. Like, we never know because they're not reporting on it. Like, but I feel like his own people kill him. Like, let's find a young martyr, somebody young, fresh, got the influence of him, and it's gonna galvanize him even more. And we go have a sacrifice. I think he was a sacrifice for his own side. So, and then, like I said, these white boys, they had the suspect, they didn't have him, then they got him, then his dad turned him in, and then, like I said, watch how we don't hear nothing about this kid no more. Like, we hearing everything about Charlie, hearing everything about the black dude who killed the white girl on the train, and everything. But this dude Tyler go disappear. I'm telling you, in like a week or two, you're not gonna hear no more about him. And he can be fucking walking in South Park Mall. We walk right past the white boy, wouldn't even know that was him, because he'll blend right back into society.
Gotcha.
I don't think they're gonna let that boy off though. I think they gonna Try to fry.
Yeah, they gonna make an example out of somebody, and this is their example. But
they said they're going for the death penalty for sure.
Yeah, they gonna make an example. But like my thing is, I don't even know if homeboy was truly radicalized, man. Like real talk, man. He grew up in Utah, like so, like I'm just just let me walk this dog real quick. Pause. You grow up in Utah, super. Like, just if you look at all the states, heavy Mormon, heavy like evangelical Christian, like Utah by nature is just a very conservative state in terms of lifestyle, everything you mentioned. It just leans very conservative. Mm-hmm. So I think he grew up in an environment where he probably was bottling shit in that he had to suppress his whole life, and he didn't really know how to deal with that. That's one thing I'm thinking off the rip. Like, he couldn't be his true white self in Utah. So not then, yeah, I don't think he could.
Depends on what kind of white he talking about.
That's what I'm saying. You know, he could be his true white self in Utah. He couldn't embrace the things he wanted to embrace. So then he become an adult. So you know how. So this is the thing about going crazy. Y'all all know when you got your first love, you probably did some shit you will never do again. Cause
all right, G.
Hold on. Hear me out. You know, when a young man fall head over heels, he bound to do something that he ain't got no business doing.
He can't talk about his little piece.
Hey, look, I'm just saying now. So what I'm thinking is that this white man just fell victim to the bussy. Man, that's just what it was, man.
I did think Charlie might have clapped this girl too at one point.
Yeah, I think this white man fell victim to the bussy, and he felt like he was left no choice but to take out Charlie Kirk. And I feel like it was a very just emotional thing out of love. It wasn't a radicalization. I don't even think he had a big thing. I think he just had he had to do what he had to do for the love of his life. And this white man went to the extreme, man. He had to take out the ops. That's what I think happened, man. That's what I think. And they gonna try to radicalize it, but he fell victim, bro.
Yeah, I believe it.
That's what I think it is. And he couldn't embrace it in Utah. He was like, Kirk about to fuck this up. He on campus for me. He was like, I can't let this happen.
Like I say, mental health, bro.
He is a major. He's a great shot though. He's an amazing shot from that roof. Like, I wonder. But do y'all think the Trump assassination was real? Like, because like, what did
the thing about this one? I didn't watch the video, but from what I saw, didn't he get like initially hit in the chest when he was wearing a vest and it ricocheted into his neck? I think I read or heard that somewhere.
I don't think that's been confirmed though.
I heard that, but I saw it.
From the one time I seen it, and again once I seen it, I was like, all right, I'm good on that.
He didn't miss.
Yeah, I saw that.
You just seen his neck.
It was straight neck shot.
But I've heard Joe Budden run with the like he got hit inside. Like I guess he was wearing
a vest or something.
And the idea is that one of the theories is that it hit the vest and went to his neck. Either way, it got hit and it happened.
Yeah.
All right. Nonetheless, Black America in the crossfires. There has been some conversations online about, I guess, like the reaction that Black America has had as it's dealt with this specific incident. Some people kind of there was a few prominent people that celebrated the death of Charlie Kirk. There were some people that were saying how it was justified. There were some people getting called coon because they was empathetic. There were some people that was just like looking at shit and just like, well, things are just happening. I guess what has been your take on just that part of the conversation? And I'll ask more pointed questions in a little bit.
I think as a Black person, you're allowed to feel like if you feel empathetic for somebody dying, especially being how graphic it is. I don't think there's nothing coonish about that. I think that's just the normal.
Johnny, they throwing the Samuel L. Jackson meme on you right now. That's what they're gonna throw him. I ain't saying that that's
Django. Yeah.
For feeling bad about somebody. I feel bad about.
That's what they've been doing. That's what they've been doing. I'm just telling you what the internet.
Okay, I mean, fine, but like that. Okay, whatever. I mean, I just feel bad for people getting shot, but I don't think, in all actuality, it don't have anything to really, do with me as a black person and how I feel. Because this wasn't like in the political landscape. This didn't have to do with race. It was whatever reason Tyler did it wasn't about race.
Yeah, I think it's the idea of like feeling bad for your oppressor and shit like that.
It's not necessarily. I mean, it's not necessarily like I feel bad for anybody though. Like it's just like as a human, like he's not necessarily my oppressor. I mean, I think I got free will out here, and like the government would probably do, but he wasn't necessarily part of the government. He said some things that I agreed with, some things I didn't. He's a person. I didn't think he should have died, and I saw it. I felt bad. But I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. As a black person, I don't think it really had anything to do with my politics. So I'm allowed to, if there's nothing wrong if you didn't feel bad with it either. I'm just saying this is how I feel. You're allowed to feel how you feel.
Gotcha. G, the optics of black people celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. What do you think?
Yeah,
matters is like, yeah.
As I said at the beginning, I'm not pro nobody getting murdered off of having a point of view. So to celebrate one's death, I think is it's not the right move to celebrate one's death. It's just the point blank period to it. But I would also say though, going out of your way to like memorialize, if you will, I think is also kind of perplexing to me. I think there's you can not celebrate. Yeah, it's like we don't need to defend or uplift or try to act like he was something he wasn't. That he was like a positive for our community. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think he had any positive what's the word I'm looking for? Initiatives. Like I don't think he had any well-to-do thoughts about trying to help people that look like us. Like he saw us as a threat, position us as a threat, position us as a threat to white jobs, etc., white livelihood, the replacement, all this other stuff. So, his platform didn't position our community in a positive light, and I don't think we need to, as a community, take part in this memorialization process because he wasn't. I don't think he deserves that from our community. But yeah, we don't need to cheer on anything. That's what we don't need to really have. This is white on white crime, as I said before. This is not for us to cheer on and get behind. We're not here to take a side in this. Like this is not something that we executed. This is out of our hands here. Let God sort it out.
Okay.
It's above me.
Yeah.
A Black, talk to us.
The birds don't sing.
How many Samuel L. Jackson Django memes did you hand out this week?
A lot, but this situation, because like I don't feel bad, but I don't feel glad either. Like but it's two Samuel Jackson memes. You got the Django meme, him holding the master, and you got the one from the movie A Time to Kill when he say, "Yes, they deserve to die. I hope they burn in hell."
I ain't gonna get you in trouble. I ain't gonna ask which one you been handing out this week. My bad.
I've really been indifferent to the whole. I honestly didn't know this guy or care enough to like even troll. Like, so people's reaction, like some people, it's typical stuff, and it is a little cooning. But it's another situation to show you like Black people not monolithic. Like we don't all think and feel the same. It's all different types of Black people. You got the part-time Christians who came out and now they Christian values just won't allow them to. And being indifferent is not celebrating. It's very few celebrations I actually saw. I saw people talking shit or cracking a joke or just being different. That Black girl in the video, she was celebrating, the one that got arrested on the college campus. You know, that's extra to me. That's over the top. I don't got the energy to even like.
What about like what's his name? Deontay Cal. He said, "Smoking on that Charlie pack tonight."
Yeah, like I mean, even
they going to get him.
That's part of our culture, though. Like, I mean,
they going to get him.
That's part of your.
That's a cultural
that's
thing.
part of not mine. I ain't never smoked on the pack of nobody.
I ain't smoked on nobody pack. I ain't gonna lie to you.
But Chicago,
but at the end of the day, man, you can't police. We can't police feelings. We can't tell people how to care, and it go both ways when it happened in our community. We can't expect them to care as much about us either. You know, they clown George Floyd, like they clown shit, and I clown shit in our own community. I clown King Von and these people in our own community. I don't celebrate it, but I don't care enough to like, oh, pray for his kids and family. Fuck that. They should have worried about their kids and their family. When you put yourself in that position where somebody can take your life, whether you're a cop, whether you're a public speaker, your family is your responsibility. But everybody got families. The people in Gaza got family. Malcolm X had a family. Medgar Eggers had a family. Like, and they want us to care more about them than we care about ourselves, and then they ever cared about us. But it was like people don't care. That's cool. Like, but like I say, white people. This is their shit. To me, it's fascinating. They imploding right now, and what we need to do is make sure we keep the shit lighthearted, joking. Don't bring it into our community because this shit had nothing to do with us. There's no reason why people should have been fighting. You know about you want to pray for them? Cool, pray for them, nigga. Pray for me too while you're at it. I ain't praying for him. Like I got something to do, but I'm also not about to go back and forth with my brothers and sisters because they like or don't like somebody. If I don't care, I don't care. So,
I want to drive home a point that like, because even like a lot of the folks that I talked to did not know about Charlie Kirk until the death, till the murder. Like a lot of black folks in our age group and older for sure did not know about who he was or saw anything that he said before he died. So I think that's important to highlight here, that like that's the proof of how I'm saying we're being engineered to become a certain way, because this rhetoric didn't even exist in people's minds. People weren't thinking about it. And now a lot of our community is falling victim to the propaganda, to the conditioning in the media to take on something that's not even really their fight. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to point that out, that like to the point about our culture, it really is a lot of us who did not know who this was until the thing went down.
And a lot, just to add on to that, a lot of people are taking what they know based on what they've seen so far because they just learning about him. So the first clip you seen, that's who you think. Like my mom asking about him today. She work at a college. She said kids keep asking. She's like, "Who is it, Charlie Kirk?" And then so then she watches the clip. It's like, "Oh yeah, I saw him talking about Jesus, and he don't seem like that bad of a guy." And I'm like, that's the only clip you saw, Mom? She's like, watch this. So I sent her the clip. Him talking about black women and their brain power and such. Like, oh no, I didn't see this. And like, fuck him. Like, so it's like, depend on what you see, because he has mad content. So your algorithm can be streamlined one way, and you might see the positive stuff that he was talking about, and like, oh, he's a good dude. Or you might see all the racist shit he was saying. So that's why people are feeling differently, because they didn't know who he was, and they want to comment on shit, and they comment on him based on the 1 or 2 videos they saw that was good.
And I think that going to all y'all point, one of the things that's kind of, in my opinion, fucked the left a little bit inside this entire thing is the fact that most people didn't know who Charlie Kirk was. Well, I don't know if I want to say a lot of people didn't know who Charlie Kirk was. Like there is a large faction, and most people that have the stronger reactions, in my opinion, like the Deontay Cals or the Mark Lamont Hills or whoever. Like they're familiar with him because they're inside that space. But most average black people didn't necessarily know him. Saying that to say, I've had multiple conversations over the week where I've been presented almost with the exact same like dialogue tree, where it's, damn, who is Charlie Kirk? Oh damn, he be saying some wild shit. Oh damn, you heard they clipped all these clips out of context. And that wasn't even what he really meant, right? But a lot of those ends up being like bad clippings where you can also just show some full clips where he's doing wild shit. But for the rage bait, the left did a bad job of clipping like I'm not for empathy thing. That was like one of the biggest ones that the right figure. I mean, they fired back and was like, see, they took it out of context. Charlie Kirk is a really good guy because like the sentence after that, he says, I'm not for empathy, I'm for sympathy because you can never know how a person feels, right? Or the whole gun, whatever the gun thing that he said.
Like you got to take a few lives to have these rights type of thing.
Yeah, and he gave like more examples. And for some people, that was enough to justify him stating that. And so like they took those things and they ran with it. And because of so many people didn't understand it, that quick little fact check on those couple out of context clips painted to them, oh, he's not really that bad of a guy. This is all just fake news. And I think that that's the pull and push of the social media and media atmosphere that we live in right now. All right, so nonetheless, we do have two of the guys, the regulars to the show. I got to find like some avatars for the guys right here. We have Steve. We have Old Man. Steve, you joined us first. Talk to us, brother. What's going on, man?
What up, Steve?
Hey, yo, I know we was laughing at G Point, but he actually is hidden on a very real internet subculture between incels and femboys. Like, I don't think like you really have to be on the internet to like know it exists. But that is a real internet subculture, you know, in which he explaining where these incels,
because they're both
incels,
like,
the only femininity, that they can come in contact with is, and the femininity they comfortable with interacting with is femboys on these discords. Like, so we laughing at it, but like this is a real phenomenon. And two, this is the memification of political assassination. He's a troll. He's an internet troll. He literally wrote meme posts on the bullets. Like these is known memes that he wrote on the bullets. Yep. Like the one where he do the up, down, left, right, arrow. That's a code to a game when you dropping a bomb on somebody.
You're about to say it's like the infinity ammo or some shit like that.
Yeah, and it's commonly used on Reddit when you having an argument with somebody to signify that you've won the argument. You've dropped, you've nuked them, you've won. And it's just like people keep trying to make it left, right, but when you look at the dude, if you trying to put politics to him, it's incoherent because he's an internet troll and he killed somebody as a shit post. That is, that is what it is. And I think it's way deeper than what, people give into and how people get radicalized on the internet. When his classmates say he's been on Reddit since he's 10 years old, and they describe him as a Reddit dude. They didn't describe him as a political ideology. They didn't say he had this, that, and the other. They described him as a kid that they knew who had been on the internet too much growing up. And in these chat rooms, especially, I don't know if y'all know about 4chan or any of those type of places. Mm-hmm. These is places in which they hype each other up to do stuff. And then they go back to these, discussion posts and forums after the fact to get their credit for doing it. I mean, just in the past 10 years, there's been so many people who's did assassinations or shooting up mosques. And they literally post the live feed on 4chan.
They do the live stream too.
And they do the live feed on these things. So I don't think people understand how really perverse, this is. This is because it would be much more acceptable in my viewpoint if he had a politically coherent ideology like that. We could still say we disagree with it, but I can make much more sense of that.
What makes you say that he doesn't?
Because the telltale signs of somebody who got a political ideology is a nigga like me. If I'm going off you, I'm write my manifesto 7,000 words.
Well, they said he had a manifesto,
huh?
They said he had a manifesto.
Where is it?
I don't know,
these is not
it's written. I don't know, like it's a big thing with the manifesto.
These is not the traditional markers of a dude who got a political ideology. Because you can easily do the killing and post your manifesto straight to the forum.
And per his text, he said I planned this a week ago. This just doesn't sound like
fair, but all I'm saying is that they did recover a manifesto. Like it was a handwritten manifesto.
he said he was gonna kill Charlie Kirk, but I'm talking about like when that buddy shot up that.
It also did have fascists. Like most of, like I understand what you're saying. Like the meme culture, a lot of the memes was dealing with fascism though.
Nick Fuentes calls Charlie Kirk a fascist.
True.
So that's what I'm saying. Like what we trying to ascribe to, like, it's much more complex than just trying to say that these people have a certain political leaning and ideology.
I guess what I'm saying is that at the moment, I wouldn't say that he does or he doesn't, but I think that there's evidence that leans one way at the moment. To me, it sounds like he's a rebel to his conservative Christian family that has been radicalized.
No, but
you can walk a trail there. It might.
No, G is right though. He's suppressing. He's had to live under a Mormon ideology. In his outburst was the person he felt was the most against the type of lifestyle he was living. And
it's like a traditionally like left lifestyle.
But I can't say that that's traditionally left, Q.
But
that's not fair.
That's not a conflict of his leftism. That's a conflict of his life that he grew up in. Like his issue is with what's expected of him from his family and his culture. And
right. But typically when you rebel against like your parents, you go to the other side. His parents were conservative Republican.
I think we should not ascribe. I think we should not.
But it seemed like we're saying like he only took his sexuality.
I don't think we should ascribe sexual orientations to political.
Exactly.
Because it's too many gay conservatives. It's too many. It's too many.
When we say too many, are we saying like the hyper majority of gay people would be in the LGBT and the support for said thing is on the left and liberal though, right?
I mean, you could
say that for black people too, but they don't necessarily.
I think
it makes him a monolith.
I think we dealing with something different than like just political ideology. We dealing with somebody who has a warped view from being in a chat room with femboys his whole life because he's an incel.
And you don't think that in that chat room they had like political leanings?
Well, this is what's crazy. If you go listen to the people who conduct themselves in these chat rooms, they actually say it's a hotbed for people who are actually fascists to recruit, because fascists like to recruit people from society that's ostracized. And what's a better place to recruit from an ostracized group than from incels and femboys? So that's what I'm saying.
Are we saying that he was fascist?
No.
Crazy army.
I said what I felt about him at the beginning. It's politically
only his sexuality went left, but everything else stayed like center.
No, it's politically incoherent. That's why I'm saying try to ascribe political leanings to it don't make sense.
But everything that's all right. We'll talk in a circle.
And then I can't even say what I want to say about.
But he just also said like Nick Fuentes, who is a clear conservative, also referred to this person as a fascist. So that's not just a left talking point. It's One could say that again. Like I said, to me, if I was to randomly like take away all this thing, and then I was to describe him, and then also all the trails that lead to like who he is, like a person that talks like that's dating or possibly I don't know what the confirmation is. Person that is involved with rooming with a trans person within the LGBT community that inflames the word fascist, and everybody that's inside his circle is saying that he has left leaning. Like I don't like that. Those are the words that are being said right now.
That's a leftist.
But this is what's so funny about it. How can a dude be 22 years? Nobody says any of this stuff, and then all of a sudden they say he go to college for one semester, and he just becomes, I don't know what the most far left person in the world.
But I don't know anybody that said that he's the most far left person. But you just said that everybody said that he was weird and he was a Reddit kid.
And that's what I'm getting at. We really talking about somebody he's ostracized by society, and what he preferred. He might not ascribe a political ideology to it, but he viewed Charlie Kirk.
He's living with a transgender, and he's in there calling Charlie Kirk a fascist. He's a leftist, sir. I don't know why we're introducing all these red herrings. It's not that complicated. You're adding a lot to this thing that doesn't need to be added.
I mean,
He's a
but
leftist.
it's only because I'm familiar with the internet subculture. Like, of course, if you're not familiar with it, it don't make sense to you. But I'm
It
saying
makes sense. You don't have to
I
explain
know
to
what
me,
Steve
sir.
is
So
saying
somebody
because
call somebody a fascist, that means they're a leftist. That's
It's the
what.
leftists are the ones who call people
add like
fascists. Do
three
you
other.
hear conservatives call people fascists, sir?
Yes.
No.
it sounds like
Yes.
libertarians call people fascists all the time.
But no,
Y'all been
I understand what
y'all
Steve.
making this too complicated.
I understand
Yeah.
what Steve is saying because like
I personally know
having
a lot of libertarians.
like it's a lot of like, especially like when you get around some of these, like being a suburban boy, some of these white boys and stuff. A lot of time they will be from opposite sides of the political field, but because like Steve said, that ostracization, and especially when you're on these extremes, we've talked about the horseshoe theory where there's not a lot of difference in these extremes, and sometimes they do end up in these weird little subgroups on the internet, and it's hard to really pinpoint a political ideology to either one of them because like a lot of times it is back and forth. And that's all I say. I don't think it's necessarily just the left because
I
of
just
his
think that we
sexuality.
trying hard to say something not blue that look.
Because
I'm saying, but there's been plenty
if
of
you want an
racist
opinion
people.
of a
Like
real
Strom
leftist,
Thurmond had black
if you want
kids.
an opinion of a real leftist, I'll give you the opinion after
But we
the
didn't
show
say
is
he
over.
wasn't racist because he slept with a black
I'll
person.
give you an opinion of an actual leftist and
It's
how they
hard to
felt
wake up
about
somebody
Charlie
who's
Kirk.
pretending to be asleep. That's what we're dealing with. You guys, you don't want to see what's right in front of you, but it's all good.
I mean, because my view of Charlie Kirk is too inflammatory to say during the live show.
Okay, well, I mean,
So
right now we're not talking about Charlie Kirk. We're talking about Tyler Robinson.
But Tyler Robinson, from everything I've deduced for him, he's just he killed him as a shit post.
I think that's it. That's
being a
You don't
troll.
think when
Being
Charlie
a troll
Kirk-
isn't necessarily something you could subscribe to a serious political.
Yeah, I
ideology.
would just, to me, that's an oversimplification.
But Charlie Kirk
He's
had a
not a
strong
Luigi.
stance. He had a strong stance
No, but,
against LGBTQ, against the trans people.
Luigi doesn't have a political
But he had a clear motive and like a clear disdain for the industry. Like it was a very clear like
he left what made him do what he do afterwards. Like it was a point to it. Like,
yeah, according to the Republicans and Cash Patel and all of them, they got his manifesto too, and it leans left. I don't know. I can only go by what the niggas have reported, but I could be completely wrong.
And I think this is something also important to say. The guy was only 22, so like as we're all like 30 plus, like think about like our political ideologies when we were kids and what they were, or when we was like that young.
Yeah, you probably was leaning left.
Because Q, I think.
But I'm saying, but they weren't
most
based
young people
on.
are leftists.
But I think y'all could. I think
I'm not
what
saying
I'm
that,
trying
but I'm
to
saying, but you can change. And a lot of times when you're younger, your political, your identity even is fluid. And so it's not just this one thing where you can say I'm left or I'm right. And you're a young person, you're still trying to figure a lot of that out. I think him doing this,
I don't
was more
really
of a
describe
state.
that to young people at all.
I think I'm really just trying to say we dealing with something more dangerous than just him having a political ideology.
You're adding a lot of red herrings that don't need to.
No.
be
It's a love story. This ain't even no political. This nigga just
like
I'm telling you, he just was an irrational love story. Like,
oh man,
right? But then
Everybody's scared of these nerds, man.
it's a rational
okay,
love
but then
story.
you got
It's not a political story. It's an
you
irrational
got Charlie
love story.
Kirk's talking against the LGBTQ agenda every day he gets on stage. How is that not a factor in him getting targeted for an assassination?
But he talk about Gaza. He talk about black folk. He talk about a lot of stuff.
I'm talking about the shooter who has a trans boyfriend, and I'm talking about Charlie Kirk
that's what I'm saying.
talking
That's what I'm saying.
against
It's
trans.
But
it's a relationship. The issue is, I think, rooted in this relationship, but that in itself is not a political position. It's a love thing.
So they actually did come out and say that the roommate was his boyfriend.
Well, that's what they say.
That's what they're saying.
I gotta make some assumptions here.
Hey, Q, what's going on? You going out of order? I've been waiting all day. You got all these people.
Oh yeah, my bad. Yeah, everybody hopping into. I was kind of letting y'all after show.
My bad. I was asking.
All right, old man, talk to us. Yeah, I thought y'all was just gonna after show it, but yeah, old man, go ahead. Let's get to it. Then we'll go to Chuck.
Yeah, get it together. So first of all, I want to say we don't know that he actually was a shooter. The second thing I want to say is that
Wait, what the old man say?
We don't know that he's the
Yeah.
actual shooter.
Oh, so you think that this is that? Okay, that, I mean, I'm not mad.
The reason I brought that up is because I've been watching some professionals talk about the angle of the shot and how he reacted to the shot, his body, and they're saying it should have been on the other roof where it was construction, and that would have been an easier place to hide and take the shot. So that's why I'm bringing that up. So until it's confirmed, he's the alleged shooter.
Conspiracy theory, boy.
No, it's not a conspiracy until you see the guy take the shot or he admits it. Then because his dad turned him in, he didn't turn himself in. And his dad turned him in because he saw him on camera.
But did you see the text messages?
But his dad saw the gun that his dad bought him. He saw him with that gun.
No, I'm not saying he didn't have anything
He
to do with
confessed in
it.
his text messages. He confessed already, so I don't know.
Okay, for Chuck. Okay, he's guilty for Chuck. Okay, whatever. But until we find out,
Discord, he was on Discord bragging too. But yeah, keep going. Oh man, my bad.
The next thing I want to say is that as far as Charlie being shot, I really had no reaction. So I'm more curious about what is the motives of this guy or the alleged shooter. And then the thing I want to say about just his identity. So I don't know if you guys ever heard of Jack Mormon. So Jack Mormon means it's a Mormon that lives a double life, and that goes on a lot in the state of Utah. So you got a lot of kids that live the double life because they've been under this like real strict form of living life under the Mormon church. And a lot of them, when they go to college, they do exactly the opposite. Most of the times they're more wild than someone who didn't live as a Mormon. So
like the preacher kids when you go to college.
Yeah, just like preacher kids, but
worse than the preacher. No, Jack Mormon shit is worse than the preacher kid.
Yeah, it's worse and it's crazy worse. But I don't really know. But you're on the right track. You're on the right track though. So
is it like Rush Springer for the Mormon? I mean for like you know what Rush Springer is like when the
I forget the group.
What do they call it? The ones that
y'all
know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the ones that don't do electric.
Like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like Rush Springer for them.
I don't know who that is, but it's just the complete other side. Like, yeah, it's a double life for real. But like they switch it on and off. So you'll go to their house on Sunday.
It's the Amish you're talking about. Go ahead.
Amish, yeah.
But I mentioned to Chuck last week that it's a guy going rogue, and he's like, why you keep calling him rogue? And for some reason, I had a feeling he wasn't a lefty. So I know you want him to be a lefty, Chuck, because it's an easy narrative, but I don't think that's the case. I think it's more complicated than what you talking about or what you might prefer. That's all I got for now.
That's crazy. Salute. This is the same guy who said that his shooting was not political. He's not a leftist. It's very interesting, your take. It's like you refuse to take the information that is known into consideration. This man targeted a conservative who spoke out against LGBTQ rights, spoke out against the trans agenda, that spoke out against the trans patriarchy. He targeted him for an assassination. This was not a random thing. He planned it. His chat room messages have been already described, and he's already confessed to it. But you think that he could not be the shooter because of something you heard on YouTube?
There has been no legal confession. Stop bringing up fake information, please.
Okay, it's his Discord. His Discord messages.
He just mentioned that the guy was putting too much hate in the world. He didn't mention any.
No, but in his Discord messages, he did mention, I did it. I hid the rifle here. I wish I would have just collected the rifle.
He said why he shot him.
He said it's a towel, the whole little thing. No, he said Chuck is talking about him admitting to the murder.
But he
admitted to the murder, but you're saying, no, he's not the guy.
Chuck is talking about him hiding a rifle, not him saying I shot this guy. I didn't say he wasn't part of it. But if someone asks you, did you shoot somebody? If you didn't, then you're going to say, no, I didn't.
I've heard.
Are you a part of this?
That's fine. Whatever conspiracy that you're weaving, that's all well and good.
Why?
No, okay, I get it.
Why do you want him to be the guy?
He is the guy, sir. All the forensic evidence points to him. His finger, his DNA is on the weapon, and he's on the video. It's him. He's the guy on the video. So I don't know why you're
would
going
hate
through
to
all
have
this.
you be my jury member because you'd be like, oh, he was black. I
I
saw the
can.
black guy.
Oh,
You
okay.
guilty. I'm
Now,
just saying,
But
you're
if
so
he,
convinced, and you don't know.
but what are we
you don't
talking
know
about? What are you
you have no
if
talking
he
about?
evidence.
did discharge the weapon, all they have to do is look on him because gunpowder stays on you for about 5 days after you discharge a weapon. So all they had to do is just look and see if he had gunpowder on him.
The digital forensics has him at the scene. The DNA has him at the scene. That his fingerprints are on the weapon and his DNA is on that weapon. He's a
Man,
shooter, sir.
I like
It's
G Theory
simple.
the best, man. The Bussy made him do it, man. That's just the
It's a
reality.
love story.
That's gonna take us viral for sure.
It's a
Hey,
love story.
That's
hey,
fine.
But
Chuck,
I'm gonna land the plane and let somebody else go.
Okay, all right. Talk to us.
Yeah, I jumped in it a little late. Was it a question or what we just discussing?
I guess right now they're everybody's throwing out their thoughts on if Tyler Robinson did it. Like,
he had that man. He had that mangina. That mangina tore him up, man. You know, he had that mangina and it tore him up. And between the mangina and him being confused with religion and all that stuff, boy, woo. It did something to him.
I'm glad.
Hey, that's it.
It is much more complex than what people giving it. Just based off the type of chat rooms he was in, who he was engaging with, and then the stuff, and then particularly the stuff he wrote on the bullets. Like the stuff he wrote on the bullets is some like obscure 4chan meme post.
The last one was funny too.
He said, "If you're reading this, you're gay."
That's hilarious. I don't care. Like that one was kind of
like
3 out of 4 was fashion based though.
But if you're reading
but
this,
that's what I'm
you're
telling
gay
you.
is an anomaly.
On 4chan,
that's comedic genius.
On 4chan, them right wingers think Charlie Kirk is a fascist. Go to the poll group on 4chan right now and go read up what them people saying about Charlie Kirk.
Nope.
Huh?
You're not putting 4chan on my search engine.
Go to the 4chan PO.
Hey, you gotta get that VPN, boy.
But that's what I'm saying. We can't say if we gonna talk about it, we should do the knowledge on this part of the internet.
Yeah, calling someone a fascist that make you on the left.
No.
red herrings.
My thing is not just one thing. Like if you take one thing, I understand it. Like saying the word fascist. Okay, maybe not. All right. Being in love, like being inside the LGBTQ community, maybe not. Some people in your family also saying that you are left leaning, maybe. Also having a manifesto that speaks towards that. Like to me, once you line all of these
where's the manifesto?
I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, I haven't seen the manifesto.
I thought he destroyed it. I thought he destroyed
it. Look, listen. Cash Patel went on TV.
They recovered the manifesto.
Hold on. Cash Patel went on TV, said such and such. Tyler Robinson said this, and this, but we can't show it to you because it got destroyed. That's what Cash Patel said.
That's what I heard.
No, and then he said, but we have the.
And then he said we can't show it to you because it got destroyed, but we can tell you
what
that
it says if it got destroyed.
How did
that's what Cash Patel went on TV. That's the head of the FBI. So the FBI said, "Hey y'all, this is what he said, but what he said got destroyed. We can't actually release it."
Well, they should have told him just ask Chuck because he seemed to know it all.
So how?
Listen to this nigga.
Chuck said
but that's what Cash Patel said on TV when I saw him on TV. Cash Patel said, "We got the manifesto. This is what he said, but we can't release it to y'all because it got destroyed."
No, I'm not looking at it like it was fair. Like the manifesto thing was fairly slippery. Where they said that it was written, they seen it, it got destroyed, but then they also have like some version of forensic recovery of it, whatever. My main point is that like when you line like 4 or 5 things up though that are isolated that all lean left, then I'm kind of like
because this is what I say.
It probably leans left.
If he wrote a manifesto and he got a actual political ideology, I would be more accepting of it if he did it for those reasons. Like
this just speaks to your own bias.
Hey, let me ask Chuck. Let me ask Chuck a question. I'm curious. Hey, so Chuck, if Tariq Nasheed was murdered by a tether, would you celebrate his death?
I don't celebrate death.
So
Death
you wouldn't
is a
celebrate
tragedy.
that death. So you wouldn't be
No.
pro that death either, is what you're saying.
No, I'm not pro anybody getting murdered. I'm not pro a father getting murdered in front of his children and his wife and then dancing
I
and
say that's
laughing about
political
it.
naivety.
This is nihilistic. I think it's going to be hard for us to
No, it's
avoid.
not.
It's going to be
Politics
hard
is
for us to
war.
avoid a civil war with
Like,
attitudes
that's the
like
reality.
Steve. People like Steve are going to drive us right into
Politics
a civil
is
war.
war. Like, I don't get why people think politics is just about debate.
Hey, but you're not really about that life. You don't want to see people get gunned down in the streets like that.
But that's the inevitability if America don't change the way in which
It's because of attitudes and opinions like yours, where you want to make excuses
I get on
for
here
assassinations.
I literally get on here every day and advocate about changing the material conditions of Americans to get us away from the
You
edge.
want to burn down the system. That's what you want. So it makes
The
sense why you
system
would
is going to
take
burn
your
itself
position.
down because of the way it treats the people. That's
Right.
Unless we advocate for it to treat the people some better way, regardless of how I feel about it, it's going to end up that way anyway.
So you're a radical and you revel in radical people doing radical things. I get it. But some of us
Did I just say that?
actually have to live in this world.
Hey,
Some of us have family in this world.
Hey, Chuck, do you consider the system that we're currently in radical?
I think it's the best alternative given our other alternatives.
Do you understand what the system was built off of?
What other system would you prefer, sir?
Not the system that we're in and that keeps putting black people at the bottom.
Can you point to a better system?
Yeah, that system that doesn't keep black people at the bottom.
Where is this system located?
We don't got to get into a capitalism.
So Chuck, are you saying America's the best country?
It's not even about capitalism, socialism. This is just simply about the fact
I gotta say yeah.
To get into like systems and things like that, we're about to get into a wormhole of advocating for.
Chuck was saying how America's the best country.
Well, like Chuck, he shared you, A Black, and Newton's sentiments when it came down to not celebrating people getting gunned down, and that no matter if you agree or disagree with them, then like none of it should be something that we celebrate. That's pretty much all he's saying.
Yeah.
Like
don't celebrate death. That's demonic. It's demonic to celebrate death.
I think that
that's demonic. You literally believe in a God that killed kids in the Bible. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? That's demonic. But you worship a Christ that genocided people in the Bible. Shut the fuck up,
I gotta call
dude.
my guy Tone. What Tone at, bro?
I just came because the Christians can justify all types of death and say it's done in the Lord's name. But then some cracker get killed, and then all of a sudden, death is beyond the pale.
Johnny,
killing somebody is beyond the pale.
Hey,
at that point.
don't do that to me.
Oh man, who's the Christians that's on there you go.
I'm talking about Chuck.
But Chuck, to be honest, Chuck does share a sentiment that reverberates around majority of people in the panel. I think that I don't want to make
think Christians
thing, but like most people share his sentiment.
I get, that's cool. That's cool. I'm not saying that's not valid. But I'm saying if you view politics as war, then you don't care about nobody getting.
So you don't mind killing people for their ideas.
I view politics as war.
So you don't mind killing people for their ideas. That's
the answer is yes, Chuck. Let's get to Unc really quickly. Y'all two gonna get right back to it in about like 5 minutes. I'm more than sure. So let's get a couple. Unc, talk to me.
This is how I feel. Everybody keep yelling about this man getting killed in front of his children, him doing this. Now, no one should celebrate death in any type of way, anything like that. It's wrong and all this. But how many times have everybody on this whole panel seen Malcolm X get killed? No one thought about that right there. Now they'll show that on the news right now. Everybody have seen Malcolm X get killed. If you go on YouTube and it's on there probably right now. Do you see that? It's the same thing. Someone dying in front of the family and things of that nature, and it happens. But no one. It's like this man. I guess because it's in real time of today and the way they were sharing it and all this stuff, that makes it such a big thing. I don't think that
wasn't it. That was a big cultural moment, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. But I'm saying, but you know what I'm saying? Everybody act like he's the first person that this happened to like this. In front of everybody, in front of family members, in front of, you know what I'm saying? They're acting like it was like, you know, he was a bigger than life character, which he was pretty well known. He might have did the things we was doing, but he wasn't, you know what I'm saying? I feel sad that it happened. I don't, but it's, people are talking about it and making much bigger deal than, you know what I'm saying, what it is. We
Because
don't
of the
know
reaction. The reactions
Yeah.
of what people are, the reactions that people are going through is disgusting. It's making us look ridiculous. I got to be honest. All these celebrating and laughing, it just
not
makes
gonna-
us look foolish.
No, the whole problem is this right here. And it all, like I said last week when it came out to it, it's a lot of mentally ill people out here and a lot of ignorant people out here. And you put the two of them together in a room, you have nothing but trash. You know what I'm saying? Ignorance, you ignorant and mentally ill, it's just a boiling room of shit. That's what it is. You boiling shit, and that's what happens, and that's what you're seeing by all these people being ignorant and acting like this, because no one should be sitting around and clapping their hands over it or whatever, because why? Why would you clap your hands over something like that? First of all, everybody know that, you know what I'm saying, it's freedom of speech. If you go after freedom of speech with people, then, you know what I'm saying, what else do we really have besides that? I'm calling you a dumb motherfucker right now.
I got a
That's my
question.
right.
Is political
I'm saying.
violence ever justified?
Never
So-
justified.
So if it's a political project in the United States of America that's being pushed forward, and I'm talking hypothetical, political project in the United States of America that's being pushed forward to take away y'all rights, and it's being successful, it would not behoove you to be politically violent against that movement? Are we?
This country was built on political violence. You can't say never. The country was built on political
Okay,
violence.
hold on, Steve. When do you think it would be justified?
I think political violence is justified if a movement is being successful in dehumanizing and taking away people's rights.
What you're talking about is terrorism.
Hold on. That's what the right saying happening to him right now.
Yeah, but they're saying right now, as we speak, what they're doing is they're going after people's freedom of.
Hold on. But Steve, so the right is saying that now that they are getting their rights taken away, they claiming all of this. So you're saying they have the right to then do political violence?
And this goes back to my larger point. When I say politics is war, I literally mean that.
So they're justified.
That is my worldview of how politics works.
So your answer would your answer be yes, Johnny's question?
Because and then that is a war, political war, in which then we would need to have.
But so you want a war? You want a war?
I don't want a war. I'm just telling you the.
But you're saying if they did political violence against the left, it would be justified.
What Steve is saying is that we are always in war.
So political violence is always justified?
Steve is talking about terrorism. He doesn't mind terrorism in the pursuit of political ends.
One person's terrorist is another person's freedom fighter, man.
Johnny, ask your question again.
I was gonna say, so like all political, if politics we're in a constant state of war, then all political violence is justified?
I think eventually there's a war of attrition and somebody wins out. That is what happens.
What kind of world are you trying to live in?
Hey, hold on. I got one more for Steve. I got one more for Steve. So that if political violence against, let's not even say left. What about like the black community? If political violence against us is justified based on our current state, should we then go out and commit political justified proactively to stop it? Is that what you're saying?
If we view our current condition as dehumanizing and the removing of our rights, yes. Is that
how you see it right now? Personally?
First of all, I view Joe Biden as a fascist. So my worldview is different from y'all worldview. So you like
I asked you.
His answer is yes.
I think political violence is valid. I don't think.
What about Luigi? Was that valid?
I think Luigi, just from my understanding of him, I think that's more of a personal vendetta. I don't think political violence is really,
What makes it? You just said one person's terrorism is free.
Right.
What makes it? What's the difference then?
I think sometimes you can differentiate between a personal vendetta, like he had something very specific that was going on in his life that made him feel a certain type of way, versus like you got the Weather Underground, the Black Panthers.
But Steve, was Dylan Roof valid? Was Dylan Roof valid to do what he did? Go ahead.
No. And this is another problem I have. We should not treat every viewpoint as if it does have merit. Because every viewpoint doesn't have merit. Because like, do y'all believe the Black? Like, I got a question. Do y'all believe the Black Panthers were terrorists?
No.
But I guess like you about to spin it a little bit. Like to what whoever just asked that question point. If you look at all political acts or politics in general as war, and there's going to be a left and a right, there's going to be, you know what I mean, like it's
going to be sides. We're going to have to choose sides.
It's going to be sides.
I'm saying that side is wrong and they should be dealt with.
Naturally, the opposing side's not going to view the other side as having,
and that's fine. And that's why
what Johnny asked you about, like, is the rights, like actions of feeling offended then justifies their violence. By that metric, it would be justifying what Dylan Roof did, because he. All right, can y'all hear me now?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, because of like through just going, just internal critique of your own ideology, like through your prism of how you see it, he to my understanding, killed people based off of some, like, right-ish ideology. It would be an act of war that's justified because of all politics is based in war.
And I'm not arguing that violence will not come from the other side. My only thing I'm saying is when that arises, that needs to be dealt with accordingly in order for your political ideology to win out. That's
so
man, what this sounds like to me,
so we should engage. Hold on. So we should engage in political violence, i.e.
That's the inevitable endpoint. Regardless of how we feel about it and what we think should happen and what shouldn't happen, the inevitable endpoint is political violence.
Okay,
everything that y'all got in this country, everything we got in this country from the ending of slavery to civil rights to the labor laws, all require political violence. The 40-hour work week required them to go in there and kill their bosses, to burn down the factory, so forth, so on. Like, this idea that things happen in this country just out of the kindness and the goodwill of the system, that's just not historically true. It just naturally ends towards the violence. I'm not making a statement.
All right, so real quick, Steve, let me let I know Unc want to hop in, look like old man, then we're gonna go to Johnny. Johnny, I know you want to hop in right now. Just remember
write it down, Johnny.
Write it down, Johnny. Write it down. Unc, then old man, then Johnny.
I was just wondering, because Steve is saying about it being like, politics is war, but I guess he's kind of right. America is a violent place. That because it's always a war going on somewhere, and America is always fighting somebody. But politics, I don't see it far as in that you have to have violence with everything that goes on. But to be honest with you, for things to happen, so violence that happen for people to really kind of notice and change things, and it's, but that it's almost like violence is the American way.
Can 14% of the population prevail in such violence?
Keep going in and out. We can't. Your phone keep going in and out.
Okay.
Quick question: Can 14?
What I want to say is that Charlie did not deserve to die. No one deserved to die for words spoken. I mean, that's just stupid to even say that. So it's not a just, and there's different levels of political violence and different levels of warfare. So none of this is justified. I'm more curious about.
I never said that. I never said that he deserved to die.
I'm not. I'm just speaking in general. I'm not speaking to your point. So what I'm trying to say, I'm more curious see, I don't see this as a left and right. I see this as a right and right. center right and right. I see this as an internal fight, but they're trying to make it seem as if it's a left and right fight. That's what I see it as.
I agree.
Right now, in my opinion,
I disagree.
Their war.
I'm not even making
war
that.
with
I'm
them.
not even making that justification. Whether it's left, right, whatever his political viewpoints is irrelevant.
White on white.
I'm just pointing out.
That's what I feel like. White on white crime.
The historical reality of America. I think a lot of people are naive about the country that they live in.
But Steve, do you think 14% of people? Well, one question, Steve. Can 14% of the population prevail in this war?
All gonna be on the same side.
No, but you said that politics is war. Can 14% of people prevail in this war?
What make you think the war is gonna be fought along races?
I just need to ask you this. Just answer me this question. Can 14% of people prevail?
I reject your premise because I don't believe the war.
You just said it's war, right? So how do we win this war?
I reject your premise because I don't believe the war will be fought on the ground.
My wife next time. I'll be like, I
reject your premise.
I get it because of like if I'm gonna jump in really quickly. Steve, let me know if I misquote you or if I get it incorrectly. Steve is not the biggest it's going to be fought on race as much as it's going to be fought on class. Like Steve is way more of a classism guy. So the fight for material goods and like better social
true communists.
It wouldn't deal with race as much as it would be class. So
rednecks and hood rats fighting on the same side, the proletariat triumphing over the bourgeoisie.
I mean, the Chicago chapter
get along with each other.
The Chicago chapter of the Black Panthers literally was in coalition with the Young Patriots from Southern Illinois. So stranger coalitions have been created during economic times in which people across races have been disenfranchised. And even if you want to talk about labor movement, we could talk about 1940s Alabama, and we could talk about poor whites and poor
utopia.
Black.
This is a utopia you're describing.
What are you talking about utopia when I'm giving you historical things that happen in America?
You gonna like my question, Steve? I got one question.
Like, nigga, do you read?
Right there.
Like, Chuck, do you read?
All right, hey Steve. Listen again. We always got to time out you and Chuck. Y'all don't get to it every time.
This nigga Chuck thinks he's smart, but don't know no history.
We got to time it out. Johnny got a question.
Yeah, Steve. So, like, are you saying, and would you say not necessarily against race lines, but would your criticism on our lack of progress be because of our lack of violence? And would you say that like we haven't got the things we want because of our lack of violence? Then
I think
good question.
I think Black people's lack of progress is because they kind of bought into the propaganda post 1968, in which they were more than
that was nonviolent. That was the nonviolent movement that went out.
Yeah, but after 1968, the people who really had real politics, either those people were killed or they had to leave the country. So you left with a vacuum. You left with a vacuum of certain type of Black folks who fill that political space which then dictates what type of politics the Black community have. What people am I talking about? I'm talking about the Farrakhan's. I'm talking about the Sharptons. I'm talking about the Jesse Jackson. These people have a very non-radical view of politics in which they were content with high places and black faces in high places. They push that as achievement for Black people. We don't want to actually change the system. We just want 13% of our people represented in the oppression of the masses. That is I can't hear you, G. I can't hear you.
You think Farrakhan and Jesse Jackson in the same ilk?
Yes, and I can explain. So there's a reason, and it's not. I think people get too caught up on the politics and what they had. It's how the status quo view these people.
What we just talking about politics, nigga?
Listen. How in which the system views these people dictates in how they were treated. There's a reason why Malcolm X doesn't get to live and Farrakhan does. Because the type of politics that Farrakhan, whether it's Black nationalists or whatever, that's not really a threat to the status quo. Saying we gonna do for self and do our own businesses, that's cool. We want niggas like that.
But Steve, can I ask you a question?
But hold on, because he didn't answer it, because he said because Farrakhan and them, they're non-violent, and that's why we didn't get the thing.
And how is
Malcolm X was
Farrakhan
about
like
that
Jesse
by
Jackson?
any means necessary.
Really quickly, y'all asking two different questions.
It's not so much that they share the exact same politics; it's that their politics are non-threatening to the status quo.
All right, now Johnny, react your question.
And I'm saying that doesn't because that kind of, but that means yes, because if they're non-threatening, that means it's non-violent. That means it's not going to get us to where we want it to go, and we were on a track to where we had
when I'm using the
a
word
little more threatening violence, and we were getting there, and then once they took that away, we stopped having progress.
But Martin Luther King was non-violent. When I say threatening, I'm talking about the way in which you change the way in which Black people think about and the way the world should be oriented. That's a threat to the status quo. So Martin Luther King had a worldview that was in opposition to the status quo at the time. So he can't be the person who dictating Black politics post 1968.
Farrakhan's worldview would be coherent.
Farrakhan's worldview fit. First of all, Farrakhan's worldview not only fits, but it's more useful to keep him around. Because you can always point to quote unquote, like they like to say, he don't like white people or whatever.
That doesn't make a lot of sense.
But he's more of a useful thing to keep around.
So Steve,
can I ask a question?
Have y'all ever read Malcolm X's critique of the Nation of Islam?
Yes, but we're talking about Farrakhan and Jesse Jackson specifically.
Steve, so are you saying that like we had a path to get to where we wanted without violence, and we just chose so you're saying it was possible?
I don't think we chose. I think certain Black people are put in front of us, and they sheep herd us into
right. But I think that escapes his question. Though he's asking, was there a way to
do it without violence?
Without violence, being that you said that politics is all about war.
I think the political inevitability is that it always leads to that. I think people trying to make it seem like I'm saying like, yeah, we should go out and do it now. I'm saying regardless of how we feel or if we gonna do it or not, we're not gonna have no say in that choice. It's going to happen regardless.
All right, but Steve, let me ask you this.
Hold on, wait. I think Johnny wants to kind of finish this.
I'm good. I mean, like it sounds like he said we gonna have to strap up. He got. I see what he said. Inevitably, violence.
You ain't gonna see Steve out there. You ain't gonna see Steve out there fighting though.
Really quickly, G, I know you also wanted to kind of dial in on a specific point that Steve had, and then let's open it up to everybody else. Go ahead, G.
I just want to understand the point of. Okay, I hear you saying that Farrakhan and Jesse Jackson, what they represent isn't a threat to the power structure. Like, help me understand how what Farrakhan represents is not a threat to the power
Black
structure.
Capitalism is not a threat to the power structure.
So that's what Farrakhan stands for, is Black capitalism?
That was one of his. I believe that, but also that's just not my critique. That's one of Malcolm X's critiques of NOI.
And when you say Black capitalism, does that mean like I know you don't believe in like instant, like so you like, for example, like would Black banks be an example of Black capitalism?
No.
Okay.
I think if Black people own the bank, we own the bank, right? And we
you sound muffled too.
Yeah, you muffling, covering the microphone.
Oh, my bad. If Black people own the bank and we share in the success of that bank, that is a very different economic orientation in which we currently live under. Malcolm X's critique of NOI was NOI wanted him to pull back his critiques of the status quo because it was bad for business. I don't think people really have dealt with why Malcolm X fell out with it wasn't just the alleged sex stuff. It was the political orientation in which the NOI had, in which he viewed that they were trying to get their piece under the system rather than actually change what the system was.
All right, but Steve, what if you care about the interests of your family more than some meth head redneck in a trailer park? Am I malfunctioning if I care about my family more than the proletariat in general? Why am I mistaken if I care about the interests of my family
because
over nameless, faceless people who are unknown to me?
I think this kind of individualizing of things, we make it seem like there's not going to be like downstream effects on us. Like we should care about homelessness, even if we like, or their material condition.
More
No
than your
matter
own
what.
family? More than your own family?
No. I'm not saying it. But you should care because the quality of all of our lives are dramatically reduced.
Whose interest comes first, your family or homeless people?
We don't got to worry about homelessness. Trump
All right,
cleaning that up.
If I could hop in real quickly, like, this is like
you fix that. Yeah, you fix that.
See, like this is the exact point that I'm making with like that how the downstream effects of what y'all are calling like the white on white war, civil war that might be.
Q, I agree with you. I haven't disagreed with you on that point all night.
Okay.
I haven't even delved on that part. There are
All right,
people saying we should stay out of it and we're not gonna have to choose. The sad reality is you're being delusional. You're going to have to choose. It's a civil war. Even in the civil war, everybody had to choose.
Switzerland, baby.
Switzerland wasn't in a civil war. I don't even know how that makes sense.
They stayed neutral.
Hey, and I choose. I'm not. See, hey, everyone's gonna have to make a choice, Steve. But everyone does not have to choose.
Everyone doesn't have to choose.
Everyone does not have to choose left or right. They're gonna have to
No,
make a
I'm not
choice.
saying. I'm not saying choose left or right. I think we should move away from the left and right orientation when we talking about.
Everybody don't fight when there's a war.
But when you say we're gonna have to choose. If two factions in this country go to war, that means there's gonna be appropriation of land. There's gonna be taking of resources. There's gonna be a whole bunch of stuff that you have to do to actually go to war. So when you telling me that whatever side it is, say we need this for the war plan. Get off.
Do you know what would happen to the global economy?
And we're also talking about modern day war too. I don't think it's going to be a lot of trench warfare in a modern war.
Do you know what would happen to the global economy if Americans really got wrapped up in a civil
drop
war?
an EMP on Atlanta and it'd be a wrap.
We simply talking about hypothetical, but we talking about
hypothetically speaking. If there was a real civil war in America where people quote unquote had to choose, do you know what would happen to the global economy?
It will crash.
Therefore, it ain't happening.
But we're not dealing with that.
But also, I think that like like we getting this out like pretend land world, but
no.
But see, really quickly, if we did have a American Civil War, other countries will also use this as their proxy war. That is probably something that we would have to make sure that we understand. To where like naturally the Dems align with a certain group of countries,
gonna send some
and the Republicans they align with another group of countries, and there's going to be people that are fighting for their own interests within the country, with the country, and that's something also to make sure that we understand as well. Like if this hypothetical did happen.
Like if they go to war, they taking your land, they taking your resources, they taking all of your shit. We're not gonna just sit by and say you gonna
kill the biggest
consumer economy in the world. I don't think in America it would be
like. Are we acting like the world wouldn't love if America had a civil war?
No, Q, it wouldn't. Everything would tank, bro. Everything would tank.
Our consumer base is going to stay after the world ends.
No.
Our trip, like everybody wants to be where America is.
There would be no more
jobs. You know how much
China
China would love for America to have a civil war and have a chink in their armor?
No, because China wouldn't have a market to sell to.
But I think they care less about that than the survival of America.
Yeah,
all right.
I think they can do okay for a year.
Can I ask a question?
Talk to us.
If there was a civil war, would it be like the elites versus the common man, or would it be a racist civil war? What type of civil war are we speaking of? Because it can go either way.
In my opinion, I think that right now the lines are built off of more cultural war shit than it is. I think it is liberal ideology and progressive ideology versus traditional conservative Republican ideology. There's like some gray area in there. But generally speaking, to me, from what I have seen and what is being pushed and what is being called out and where the extremes exist at, it's the people that they call the commies and the people that they call the fascists. And that's where the war is. But like naturally within that ideology, there are clear splits.
But
and
this is what's
clear splits that Charlie Kirk talked about in essence, quote unquote, whether you think that he got killed because of Bussy or you think that he got killed because of his political beliefs. He got killed for those cultural issues.
I got a question. Is there space that like when like rubber meets the road and it actually goes to like if this did happen, where we would see maybe more splits than we anticipated along racial lines?
You will.
We're like half the we're like, because like we've
yeah.
talked about how many times like black people don't necessarily agree with the left. And so, like, if it came down to war, how many black people would be willing to fight with it? How many people? And I think you would see, like, where we these groups that we look at maybe as
Well,
monolithic,
I don't know
there
if
would be
you
more
have you
division
seen
within
the
it.
movie The Civil War? Like it was a recent movie that came out maybe like the past like 4 or 5 years.
Talking about
I
Marvels?
just
the
find
Marvel
it
Civil
funny
War?
that y'all
No.
assume.
Oh,
I just find it funny that we assume that all black people will be on the same side.
I don't assume that. I think that
but I think the left would look a lot different than
it
like
would
the voting.
be a culture war. It's like right now, like we seen some black folks crying for Charlie Kirk. Like we know that there's some people that are like on very specific sides, and other people that's on other sides. I think that a majority of black people exist on the left for sure because of like that's the voting trend. The propaganda it's a bunch of that, but
there's
generally,
a lot of things we don't agree with also on the left.
I think that is way minimal. I think black people, unfortunately, unconsciously enjoy getting exploited by the left. That's why they haven't left yet. There's like a 20% of black men, and there's like a 7% of black women that be like, I don't know, this shit kind of crazy, but everybody else kind of enjoy getting exploited. That's the unfortunate truth, in my opinion.
When you say black people, are you talking, who are you talking about? You gotta be,
enjoy is wild, but
when you say
black, they just don't know better.
Are you talking about?
So my bad. If I'm to take back the word enjoy and say they're happily going along with the thing, and they're the loudest ones cheering on like racist Nazi. If you're MAGA, and then they're cooning every single black person that thinks anything differently.
But man, shit about Jay-Z and Beyonce sitting with Trump and Ivanka and Jared Kushner at the table.
But it plays into the same point still.
People ain't they quiet on that front. Like,
also, I think we deducing why black people vote the way they vote down to there's very real reasons why they vote. And if your grandmother was born in 1944. She has a very specific reason and why Democrats will be more appealing to her than Republicans, historically speaking. And then even when you look at black people under 40 and the way in which they vote, they have moved away from the Democratic, talking points. But anytime we go to actually vote for somebody who so Bernie Sanders is not a Democrat. For under 40 black is Bernie Sanders cohort.
White liberals have owned the black vote since the civil rights movement. That's how.
I don't think we all go fight. That's different.
Bernie Sanders isn't a Democrat, but he's a registered Democrat. What do you mean?
He only registers as a Democrat to run in the primary.
Right, but that was what makes him a Democrat. So when you say he's not a Democrat, what are we saying exactly?
I'm talking about ideologically what they represent. They not the same.
He's a progressive, like is what more.
I would say he's something beyond that.
Bernie Sanders that's why the Democratic Party is messed up because of that.
Bernie Sanders can't you say the same thing about the conservative Republicans, like with the alt-right and those people say the same thing.
Everybody, that's what I said.
That's why the whole country fucked up.
There is no traditional Democrat and traditional Republican side anymore. Everyone is mixed in with each other, and they're all trying to figure it out. This is why you got white on white.
It's white on white business. Man, it's white folk problem.
I think having a two-party political system forces a lot of people into alliances that necessarily don't make sense. Really, we probably have four distinct political categories in the United States of America. But just because of the simple nature of the first past the post electoral system, you're kind of forced into going into, because like, for example, the libertarians have to run under the Republican Party if they want to have any validity to run. So they don't even get to run. The MAGA types, you could say, will probably be a different political party than the normal standard Republicans. You got the Democrats, then you got the Social Democrats, and then you got the actual communists who actually might be communists, but to actually be political valuable in America, you have to run under one of the two parties.
Right. It becomes a spectrum. But I guess if we was to try and circle this back to where I think all of this conversation spun out of just recently, which was about like choosing a side, and if like quote unquote, if the hypothetical civil war was to happen, if black people would be concentrated on a side. I just personally think that everything about like the tribalism of the black community, unfortunately, to a specific side would say that a majority would be on one side. And I also don't think that if a real civil war happened, there's not a like I'm just gonna sit the middle and sit this one out.
But also y'all gotta.
We have to.
No, that's what we have to do.
It's literally impossible. That's
also
y'all gotta. It's not impossible.
It's not.
Then
Not
we're
black folk
going to
is
be
not.
impacted the worst as we always do inside.
Not if they go to war.
No,
not if they go to war. We could
every time that there's a white on white issue.
Where y'all think that war gonna happen?
Like just now,
it
ain't happening at O Block. I know that.
Just now, what happened with the Charlie?
O Block already at war with each
just
other.
now, what happened with the Charlie Kirk shit? The day after, you had 4 or 5 gun threats at HBCUs, even though the shooter was a white man.
That's smoking mirrors.
White on white war is like black people. Again,
where y'all think this war gonna happen? Where y'all think this shit gonna happen? Like on MLK Boulevard?
Can we get?
Of course not. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like where y'all think the war gonna really happen? That's what I'm saying. Like
how about this? Let's say the war happens through policy and legislation. I think black people will be first ones fucked. Like if they pass the hate speech shit, guess who's gonna be the
war?
first?
That war is everlasting in the United States.
Like how are we gonna get like?
That's been our war.
Right, so
that's been our war.
Black people talk a lot. They say the most.
Y'all don't think that Cory Booker, what's shorty name?
Cory Booker, dumbass.
Like all the loud black people that speak against whether it's Charlie Kirk, Trump, XYZ wouldn't be the first ones that's targeted. It's weird how like we can say white people be on code with everything, and then like, oh well, if they pass some laws, black people gonna be the last ones. This shit don't make it.
I don't mean
why we bringing up Cory Booker.
I'm saying, but we're talking about
Democrats.
But aren't we talking about them fighting each other? And a lot of these ideological beliefs are amongst white people. So like,
I don't think that LGBT, like most of the culture wars, aren't specifically white issues.
But hold on,
but they're the ones that's killing each other over those issues. Like we're not like black people ain't going out killing over LGBT issues.
Yeah, black folks ain't out here killing over the bookie.
We fall victim to the bookie.
The black community had the LGBT before they had them letters.
Don't put that
the
on our
black community
jacket,
had. But I think the black community, it was always the white people the one that put the ABCs and all that stuff in there. Black
but
gays.
I think people misunderstand black people's politics.
How do you Tootsie slide your way out of a civil war, though? You get to say my name's Bennett. I ain't in it. How do you Tootsie slide out of that?
You don't Tootsie slide.
Where the war gonna happen? You think there'll be fucking cannonballs landing in your front yard?
It could be legislation, easy. Like we just seen the DEI shit lay off black women at the highest rate.
But who got laid off? Legislative war against black people. When is there not? In the 90s, the 2000s, the 80s, the 70s? Like, there's always legislative war against us and policies. You disagree?
We're affected by everything they do, the left and the right.
But can we?
All right, cool.
I think black people
like the rationale is crazy. Right
I think the decision is pretty easy if a war breaks out, and it just depends on which side holds these values. Yes, black people are personally socially conservative. We are personally socially conservative, so we might not personally believe in abortion for ourselves, or might not personally believe in LGBT stuff for ourselves, but as it pertains to politics, black people very much believe in small L liberalism, not big L liberalism, but I'm talking about the freedom to do what you want to do as long as it doesn't infringe upon somebody else's rights. So whoever
believe in social programs,
that's conservative, not liberal.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's small L liberalism. Like the actual definition of liberalism is a free world.
Black people believe in social programs, bro.
But they believe in social programs.
I'm not rebutting you. I'm just.
But we believe in a system in which people have the ability to self-determine. So whichever side has the most liberal values, because for example, me and mine would never get an abortion because I don't believe in it. But I don't think that should be legislated that I should impress that view amongst everybody else.
I gotta say,
no black people fighting the war
bring Loco back up here.
Oh, that shit was funny, bro. Y'all wasn't here for Pop Lolo.
Hey, so my feeling.
Hold on, right quick. Oh man, I gotta blast Q right quick, man. He had Mexicans on here saying nigga, man.
I had him. Listen, I'm gonna be.
Oh damn! You let them fat Joes sneak in.
Listen.
I'm boosting.
If we gonna call it, we gonna call it all the way.
Hey, what did y'all say back to him?
He.
Nah, we told him ain't no pass over here.
Y'all didn't call ICE?
Nah,
Hey,
we
come on, Johnny.
I told him, listen, I said in North Carolina, really what we did was play a video, but yeah, I said, listen, I don't know how they kind of work it inside like Cali. That's not.
Oh, was that the post show? Because I had left, so I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
So I'm trolling y'all. I'm just y'all know
he literally
man.
didn't.
Y'all know Q ain't like that, man.
I'd call
Q ain't some people who be letting Ethiopians say the N-word at their job, man. We ain't gonna say no names.
I don't know who we quiet. Let's keep moving, fellas. All right, so
the war.
Go ahead, old man.
I don't know why Chuck thought like we're gonna have to pick a side. We don't have to pick a side. We never had to pick a side, like until they offered us something in return for picking that side. So I would say if we just look at our history, we know both sides are bad for us. So why would we fight for either side? It doesn't make sense.
Exactly. That's why I always say that, you know what I'm saying? The Democrats or the Republicans is not for middle class people. The Democrats want poor people. The Republicans want wealthy people.
I don't think the war would be fought like that, though.
There is no political party for the middle.
It would be much more complex than just Democrats and Republicans. It wouldn't be fought from that
we go to war. No way. I don't think most of us, like somebody said, we too.
Right now,
Black said we too comfortable.
The hypothetical.
Yeah, this just spitballing. But like, there is gonna be typically the war is gonna be fought on one side. So the Civil War is a prime example of this. Regardless of it's about slavery,
before us to go to war, you would have to have states to declare themselves independent of the United States.
This is hypothetical. We saying
this
is hypothetical. Oh man, we just
we gonna play the rest of this hypothetical for the after show.
Oh my bad. Go ahead, Q. Do your thing. You're the greatest host on YouTube.
Really quickly. So final thoughts. I guess one thing that we haven't talked about so far as we have dove into this conversation is Utah is an open carry state, to my understanding. There has been, over the course of America, a lot of talks about gun reform. Again, the right, they are anti-gun reform. What is y'all thoughts? Could gun violence or gun reform in general be a bit of a solution as it pertains to this right here, or should we be arming more people?
Hell no. The more people that get shot, I'm not going to give up my right to protect myself because no.
It's a no for me on the gun.
One of the key things
I think
someone. I'm sorry.
Well, no, I think one of the biggest things with this is we can see how the right reacted, and like if they was going to do the gun control thing, they would have done it. But you see how they reacted. They want to make it. They, what they call it? The
gun sales are going up. This is gonna be a bull market for guns.
Yeah, I'm saying they're not trying to do gun control. They'd rather go to war and like double down.
Not trying to. I'm asking like
about to capitalize on the gun market.
Could gun control be an actual solution to this?
No, because listen,
England, you look at a lot, like pretty much most countries, they don't have a mass shooter problem. They don't have an assassination problem. They don't have.
They also got a social safety net.
Listen, but you have to listen. If they take away the guns from people and make them illegal, don't you think people still gonna get guns? They get them anyway. The average shooting is not done. The average shooting of someone is done with an illegal gun. It's not done with. So the people that, if you want to get a gun, you're gonna get a gun. That's just what it is. It's not gonna affect anything. These people aren't out here. If you go out here and the police, majority of the time, these are illegal guns. So it's not the problem with the legal guns, it's the illegal guns. And if you make it where no one can get them, everybody's gonna have illegal guns because that's just what it's gonna be.
Gun sales are going to spike over the next several months as a result of what we're seeing with the increased gun violence. That's the thing. Like
that's the reality.
So the reality is like America is like, it's gonna be tough to amend that Second Amendment. It just is what it is. It's the Second Amendment. It's a foundation of the United States. Now, will they try to put certain restrictions on assault rifles, things like that? Maybe try to make it like whatever. But what I'm seeing is red states making even concealed carry laws go away to where it's just open carry, like period. I'm starting to see that to become more of like a trend. So I would just say that gun culture is inherently American culture. It's not going out of American culture. It's too much of an industry. And unfortunately, these incidents only reinforce the rhetoric as to why that amendment should exist.
Yeah, you had something to say?
But really quick, so I guess with gun culture being American culture and American culture also being like the only country that really has mass shooters culture or anything like that, could
Mexico too
also be like the issue?
Mexico too, but they just, you know, the cartel, so they like let it slide as if it's not mass killing.
Okay, America. All right, so the Americas. There we go.
But my thing is, I don't think it's necessarily the gun thing, because I think we have seen a rise in the violence. We've always had the Second Amendment, so like, and even like in the founding of the country, like gun violence was actually normalized. They used to have duels. You can look at like Aaron Burr and I forgot the other guy, but they was two politicians. They had a duel to the death.
I mean, that's the whole thing with Westerns, the duel.
But, yeah, so violence has always been a part of this thing. And I think you've seen a tick in the violence because I think, like you say, with the rise of the internet and the rise of, you know, people just not being able to have public discourse, I think you'll see a tick in it. And I think we also, you know, got to look at the effect the internet has on mental health as to why people think these are the actions or these are the questions or these are the answers.
Turn into Charlemagne
to these things. But no, I think like the gun is
always Britain had like a culture of guns.
Huh?
Did they have duels and shit like that back in the day?
What country you said?
Britain.
I don't know. They've had whatever.
Nah, them niggas had knives. They had knives. They've had
guns. But what I'm saying is, hey, hold on. What I'm saying is that the problem isn't that the fact that we have the gun. The problem is the fact that we feel like that's our only answer, and that we can't talk and we can't have discourse.
Leading in school shootings, or the only country with a school shooting problem.
Cultural degradation of America.
It's a mental health. Like people
nothing has to do with the guns at all.
No, it has nothing to do with guns.
It's the mindset of the
America
people.
has its own specific.
You can have the guns or not have the guns. If people,
any other Western country,
but I think what people are doing.
I'm not anti-gun control, but I'm saying we also have to look at mental health, and that's why people are doing this.
But I think the reason why people are committing violence
is making the choice to kill somebody.
So you don't think that like all the other countries have mental health problems too? Is that also just an American?
But they got a better social safety net.
I think we have a unique issue because a lot of the violent things that even go out to the world.
Let's keep it strictly about the first. Let's keep it strictly
the video
about
games, our music, our movies, all of it's based around.
Let's go with Britain.
Let's keep it strict. Britain has universal health care. That's automatically 10 times better than America off rip. So what people are experiencing in America is a cultural degradation, whether that's caused by the lack
because niggas don't have health care, they want to shoot shit up.
England got all that health care. Why they don't get their teeth fixed?
It's not a beauty stand. It's not a beauty stand.
You know, dental is separate. Dental is separate. Dental ain't automatically included in a health plan. That's separate. You got to get a separate plan for the dental.
I'm just kidding with y'all.
I think there's a cultural degradation that causes people to have.
They drink a lot of tea over there.
That cause people to have mental problems and be ostracized for society, in which then they think that mass shootings is viable. And whether you remove the guns or not, people who want to commit mass violence in America, Timothy McVeigh killed 300 people and he didn't bust no gun. Or he killed 100. Timothy McVeigh killed 100-some people. He didn't bust no gun.
Mental health, it ain't the weapon.
I'm gonna just say like this right here. If you know, in states that don't have like the guns and all this stuff, you know, people still robbing people with knives and stabbing. It's
right.
Like, in UK, people get stabbed all the
time. New York, I'm just being honest with you. New York, New Jersey, tri-state area, they still stabbing the hell out of each other.
I ain't seen not one mass school stabbing.
But I'm just saying,
it happened over there though.
Saying shit, bro.
I think it's something
they
deeper
use
than just
machetes over there.
Thank you, but also too that is a very like that's also one of the most surveilled states.
Congolese boys be crazy
too, as well. Like, notice that like these mass shootings aren't happening in a city like New York City. That like where you see mass surveillance, like London, like the cities over there, they have so many cameras and surveillance over there. Like, it's not the same over here where like,
but they have rural areas also.
Q, the mass shootings are, it's not a problem of
but those
guns.
are very low population.
It's a white person problem.
It is white folk problem.
It's a cultural problem.
and it go back to their mindset. It's a mental health issue.
No other people of different cultures are having mass shootings at school. They're not going around shooting.
So just like the American
genetically, America was came like they sent their worst over here. Their worst white people came over here. So if you look at it genetically, if they sent them to Australia and the rest of them came here. So genetically, them crazy motherfuckers is the ones that this is their family. All of them mingled together, and genetically, that's why they fucked up.
And you know they was inbreeding.
All right.
Exactly.
So
y'all seen the Habsburgs? Y'all seen the Habsburgs?
It's time for you to do your outro, man.
Yeah, it's
said his head was 80%
go ahead and end this episode at.
I mean, y'all seen Game of Thrones? That inbreeding, man.
What I would say is the thoughts of the panel. The thoughts of the panel. This is not representing the show and the Unpacked coalition. But nonetheless, this has been the To Be Fair Show featuring the GH podcast. This has been a fun episode of Unpacked. We got a deeper dive into real conversations. Today we hit the Charlie Kirk episode, Charlie Kirk saga. I guess we can leave it at right now. We're still figuring things out. You got Tyler Robinson. The guy said that he fell for the what's the word you said?
The bussy.
What's the word that you said?
Mangina.
All right. So nonetheless, there's some people that say it could have been the left, it could have been the right, it could have been apolitical in general. But again, we spoken a little bit about like the black reaction to it. If an impending civil, we kind of got lost inside the Civil War conversation, honestly. And just some of these free speech debates. This has been a fun episode. Again, at the top, we have G, host of the G-ish podcast, G the King. We have Johnny, you see it, J-Rock 989, host of the To Be Fair Show, a third of the To Be Fair Show. We have Steve, fresh from Cali. Oh man, fresh from Cali. Unc, Rock Hill's finest by way of Jersey, in Tuckasegee Boulevard. But nonetheless, this has been the To Be Fair Show. Feed me with my bad. I'm tripping. With G, and we out. Peace.